Alrighty, everybody, welcome to the ultimate NGS Div A match of the season. Welcome to the Division A Grand Finals between Phoenix Rising Xanthite and Match Ready. Joining me today, I'm 7thAce, and as always, literally always, I have Ectar. How are you doing, Ectar?
I'm doing pretty well. You have cheated on me a couple of times this season, I think once with Arrow and once with Mongoose, but every time I've casted, you've been here, even if the inverse is not true.
Every time I've streamed, I've only joined as a co-caster for the others.
That's fair.
That is fair. So, Div A Grand Finals, it's our division of the season, and we've got two really fantastic teams lined up here. Match Ready, second seed out of A West, and Phoenix Rising Xanthite, I believe number one seed out of A East, although I actually have to check that. Second seed out of A East.
Yeah, I believe they were barely able to overtake Baby on board in the Division A East Finals.
Yep, they had a really good match that went to 5 games there, and then Match Ready overcame, it's my own division, who was it? Minion Miners. Miners. And I believe a 3-1 set. So,
Yeah,
really
Minion
close
Miners.
games.
They, in my opinion, they've been one of the strongest improving teams over the course of the season. So I'm really excited to see them go from what felt kind of in the middle of the season to be a middle-tier team to getting all the way to the Division A Grand Finals. I'm very impressed with them.
Yeah, definitely. If I were to have done the power rankings, it would have been, as you said, kind of in the 4th to 5th kind of range throughout most of the season, and they've really turned on the gas in the last couple weeks of the season, pulled some big upsets, grabbed the number 2 seed, and then worked their way here. So, yeah, I think both the teams are ready. I'm going to give them we're ready in 30 seconds, because I want to go over how we got here. Map view, please show up. Thank you kindly. So, Phoenix Rising Xanthite flipped the coin. Match Ready called tails, and they got it correct. So they opted for first pick in this game number 1. Phoenix Rising Xanthite banned out Battlefield of Eternity and Towers of Doom. Match Ready banned out the small skirmish maps in Infernal Shrines and Tomb of the Spider Queen. And Phoenix Rising Xanthite opted for Dragonshire as game number 1.
Yeah, so getting most of the what are thought to be relatively standard maps out of Grand Finals, though we do still have everyone's second favorite map, Volskaya Foundry, in the mix. Although, with it being taken out of these Storm League rotations, we'll have to see how its popularity goes in coming seasons.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Keep your eyes peeled in Season 12 if the high popularity of Volskaya does tend to drop off, so we'll see. So, Ectar, I think you are our resident scout guru as far as doing it for Cass is concerned. I know what Match Ready does, although they have become significantly more flexible in recent seasons, or in recent weeks. But what do we expect to see from both these teams?
So, as you said, Match Ready, they found a lot of their success off of heavy blow-up comps. Really just looking to destroy one hero and then take that 5v4 advantage, so they tend to ban out things that stop that from happening, like recently Lucio, Uther's a big one, and sometimes Medivh if they think that that's likely. There goes the Uther ban. No surprise there. Phoenix Rising Xanthite, I've been doing a little bit of scouting on. They are not a team that has a particular style. They've done blow-up, they've done heavy map rotations, they've done cheesy Asmodan shenanigans. They have taken a variety of comps, and like even checking on their Dragonshire maps, I think the only hero they've played twice in their 3 games on this map is Sonya. So they're going to be a hard team to do target bans on, I think, throughout this series.
Yeah, however, I think one of the really important parts of this draft is the 5 rework bans that are in effect for this series. Johanna, Stitches, Anduin, Vala, and Raynor all cannot participate in the series due to their rework in the recent patch. So a very significant set of tanks, set of auto attackers, and then an anti-blow-up healer. So could be an opportunity for some of these variant-style compositions that could exist.
I think the most impactful of those five is probably going to be Johanna,
Johanna.
because she is like, I think, the most popular hero in the entirety of NGS. As well as we have Battlefield of Eternity banned out, which are maps that Vala has a significant increase in popularity on, and Jim Raynor, although reasonably popular, definitely gets a boost up on that map as well. So definitely not insignificant heroes that got removed from the reworks, but I think outside Johanna, you can really work around all of those for the most part.
True, I tend to agree with you on both those parts. We've got a couple tanks banned out here by PRX, with ETC and Varian banned out, and then Hogger's been banned out by Match Ready along with the Uther, and they're going to opt for the first pick, Lucio, who has been a very, very powerful, probably the second most powerful healer in the game ever since High Five has been buffed up to viability.
Speaking of, I'm reminding the teams now that Mixing Fire is banned out because whichever low-level employee got to coding that rework, instead of nerfing it to 30%, by 30%, they nerfed it to 30%, which makes that 20-second ability go down to a 6-second cooldown. It's ridiculous. Abuse it in Storm League.
That is, you just slap your entire team, slap the enemy, slap everybody, run out of mana, but it doesn't even matter because you've already won the fight by that point. It's insane how busted a 6-second high five cooldown is. So, yeah. Brightwing and Falstad were picked up for PRX, so double global option here for Dragonshire. I think that's a very interesting pickup. And then Leeming and Muradin being the tank of choice for Match Ready.
I like picking up globals on this map because it's one of the two maps where the solo lane is a really, really big deal. So being able to occasionally rotate someone up there makes that a lot stronger for your team. And you can, with picking up both Brightwing and Falstad, you can pick what you need. If you need someone to save your offlaner, you have Brightwing. If you need someone to put in a gank, you've got Falstad. And because we saw Falstad's Dishonorable Discharge get absolutely nuked from orbit, definitely expect to see him going into that auto attack style on this map.
Yeah, also not nuked from orbit is Sonya, who has yet to make an appearance in this draft. Unthinkable as of a little while ago, but she has received nerfs. I don't think just initial impressions are that she's still quite strong, but maybe not the entirely oppressive hero that she was previously. So I'll have to see if either of these teams opt into that.
Yeah, Soul Laners still up for both teams, really looking to try and get that advantageous matchup. Just kind of a shot in the dark. I would not be surprised to see Malthael getting picked up by Match Ready. He's a strong favor from them. And I like a lot, actually, that they're leaving their Soul Laner for the very last pickup so they can guarantee a good matchup in top lane.
For sure, they always have... It is one of the advantages of opting for the solo lane important maps as your map picks, is because you can get that last pick and be able to guarantee that you won't have a losing matchup. You might not be able to win everyone with your hero pool and opponent's play, but you can definitely take a non-losing matchup. Diva is the offlaner of choice, and Cassia as the mid-range DPS for Match Ready. So a very balanced composition on the side of Match Ready. I don't see too many stuns or any kind of particular lockdown other than Muradin Stormbolt, but they do have a high amount of damage both up close and long range, and it can be burst and it can be just kind of poke out over time. So good middle of the road composition there.
Knowing the way that Match Ready has played some of their games, I'd be absolutely thrilled if we got a Valkyrie pickup from Sugar Bear to have Stormbolt into Valkyrie to try and get that single target pick. But they definitely don't have to go into that. They, like you said, they have a balanced comp. They don't have really any CC to follow up with Stormbolt unless they go with that Valkyrie. So they could just go with a poke, soft engage kind of a style. But it's kind of hard to do that against Chromie, against Mei, against Falstad, even against Sonya, who doesn't have to engage super hard with that leap to get value. So I think both of these teams are capable of playing in a slow kind of a team fight style, but they could also both turn and be reasonably aggressive as well. So I think it's going to be a lot on execution for which team is going to get the edge here.
Absolutely. As with teams of this caliber, a lot of it does come down to the execution, but a lot of importance in that drafting phase. All right. On the left side of the map, in the blue trunks, we've got your Division A East representatives in Phoenix Rising Xanthite, with the Lazy Hydra on May, Hiva on Chromie, Idioms on Falstad, Iron on Brightwing, and Joshua Scott on the Sonya.
And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks from Division A West, they are match ready with Grace playing the Diva, Sugar Bear playing Cassia, Cold Fashion playing Li Ming, Teal playing Muradin, and Paperwall playing the Lucio.
All right, got him out before the timers went. That's way to go. Taking a look at the level 1 talents, we do see fairly standard things across the board, including the aforementioned Frequent Flyer. We do have Accelerando and not Smooth Move, so Lucio will be able to make rapid rotations, but still a very strong and viable talent nonetheless.
Loses out a little bit on that personal survivability and can't red it quite as hard because you won't be able to get as much health back, but still a very strong talent on this rotation-heavy map. We do have the Q Quest coming out from Cassia, very expected pickup here. And we do have Full Metal, which I was wondering if we were going to get the Liquid Cooling because it did just get buffed in the most recent patch, but we do not see that here. And, ooh, big engagement coming out onto the Lazy Hydra. Their trait is already down. Brightwing did have to port in and is going to take a lot of damage and be first blood very quickly. You got the resets with Li Ming, and that's going to be 2 very quick kills going over in favor of Match Ready. Look to see them playing that aggressive style all game. Even if they don't have the team comp to lock them down, they will just aggress randomly out of a bush from time to time. And if you're not ready for it, it'll work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have graduated. When we played them earlier in the season, we said that they were very one-dimensional in their comps, very an Orphea blow-up, and it translated into bands really doing crippling their team compositions. But they've diversified in such an impressive way as this season has gone on. I've seen people like Teal in the Div A in-houses really practicing a lot of other heroes, so the improvement in their composition variety and their execution of them has what's led them here so far.
But definitely nothing we can take away from Phoenix Rising Xanthite either. They have Idioms going up in the top lane so they can get a very quick pickup on this Bruiser camp. They will need to get someone mid, and I don't actually know if they can, so that is going to be a very, very fast first objective going over in favor of Match Ready.
Yeah, 2-minute Dragon Knight. Not going to get a whole lot. I mean, the Dragon Knight is very, very weak at this stage, but still is able to do at least a little bit of damage here in the mid lane. Also, do note we do have the first iterations of the miniature XP globes that give 1/4 XP, 1/4 of the normal XP, and they stick around for about 6 years or 39 seconds.
Yeah, but we will be able to use that to just keep track a little bit of who's missing out on the big XP whenever we rotate up and check on mid lane and top lane, as well as who's doing a better job of actually picking up those little XP globes.
Yeah, and someday in 2025, Blizzard will color code those.
I don't believe it. They don't care about casters enough. DK getting the entirety of the front wall in mid lane. Nice little Stormbolt, just going to get a little bit of probably inconsequential damage onto Idioms, and then the minions are just going to do damage to the shield on the well there and really won't get any more value than that. Bot lane is taking quite a bit of damage as well, but not actually have any buildings falling yet for the blue team, as we have both teams looking to just get back into rotations now, although we see Joshua Scott push pretty far into his own camp, or his own side of the map, which is going to allow Match Ready to go and take their own Bruiser camp now.
Yep, so yeah, just a pretty calm reset portion. Nice opportunity here for Phoenix Rising Xanthite to take this bottom Bruiser camp, usually highly contested. Without Falstad, they are going to have to be a little quick about it, as Cold Fashion is trying to figure it out, and the collapse is occurring. Falstad flies down and is going to help secure this bottom camp with the numbers advantage, so nothing too exciting out of that, although it could have been.
It Could have indeed. It looked like Match Ready was maybe getting ready for kind of a wraparound, but I really wouldn't expect to see them try to make a hard engage under that 20 spell armor, which, they've got a Li Ming. They can't really fight under that and have a ghost of a chance of winning.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Cassia speccing into the Q build more heavily than usual with the Inner Light here on level 4, so needing Q hits to get that personal healing. So, yeah, definitely would be tough.
And I'm really enjoying Sugar Bear's just general play. He's just kind of standing up and throwing damage at the Lazy Hydra because they don't have a great way to lock him down. He's got that, he doesn't have the movement speed talent yet, but he's just kind of standing there throwing autos and Qs at Mei, and what's Mei going to do about it? Unless she can hit a combo, and someone who's got a range like Cassia, it's kind of hard to just randomly hit that out. And there's nothing else to really stop her. Like, a Polymorph will make her stop throwing damage, but it doesn't lock her down, so she can just kind of consistently plink out that damage with no recourse. Until level 10.
Yep. Well, there is a little bit of there's a fifth of a level 10 here picked up, as Chromie has opted into the more traditional Slowing Sands general purpose damage build here. So that is picked up and available for use, and now Falstad is the one available to take the Dragon Knight here in mid lane. No contest here, as all 4 members of Match Ready are in the bottom lane, and due to the Slowing Sands, they cannot chase after the Mei. Teal in a lot of trouble, but is going to be able to escape. That's Dragon Knight going over to Phoenix Rising Xanthite. 2 DKs in under 6 minutes as level 10s are picked up for both sides.
Small optimization. Falstad, you could have only been taking one of those tower shots in mid lane. You never need to take both in the heroic vehicles, but didn't do a ton of extra damage. They will get the entirety, probably, of this front wall. Might stick around to try and get the well, especially because they can see both teams are kind of just hard engaging in the bot lane, just, fighting because the enemy team is there. We do have the Valkyrie. Wasn't able to combo it off of the Stormbolt, but Sugar Bear actually going to get put into a really awful spot with that kick and will get taken out. And that is the first kill for... first kill for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, as they do pick up a counter kill out onto the Mei. DK is still quite healthy, but only 6 seconds left. Not going to find particularly more damage in the bottom lane here.
No, that is the end of the Dragon Knight, and probably the end of the scuffles for a little bit, as teams will rejoin their... just restart their map rotations. Grace going to go ahead and boosters right on out of there. Leap actually is going to get committed to knock out the Diva mech, so half a kill gained here for PRX, and they just have to make sure they escape. Teal's going to come in, do a sidestep, and let Idioms take the fall. Gust is going to come out, and that's going to be the end of that game. So,
I do want to point out we have a very quick quest completion on the baseline Muradin quest, so he does have the Pierce, the basic attack, cooldown reduction, and the increased mana, and that is going to help lead to a Falstad kill. We saw the Pierce actually go through a minion earlier, put on a lot of damage, and help them get this kill just now.
That was a really nice play from Teal, jumping over the wall, then landing the Stormbolt, as it was very clear Idioms was not expecting that, and I was barely expecting that, so really nice play there to secure that down, and the Cassia Valkyrie was able to be used as well. Now Mei in a lot of trouble. Hydra going to be able to escape, and it looks like Diva's able to interrupt Iron there on the Brightwing port.
The Brightwing from porting in.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of damage from the combo of the Brightwing and Chromie, but still is able to waddle on out of there without having to get demeched. By and large, other than the Valkyrie, we have pretty common standard ults coming out, although the Avalanche is a bit of a spicy pick ever since the Ice Wall got buffed, and then it did get summarily nerfed, so maybe that's why we see the Avalanche coming in now. It is also just a good disengage tool, which goes pretty counter to the general match-ready playstyle of hard engaging.
Yeah, did actually Icewall... What changes did Icewall get in the previous patch?
10-second nerf and cooldown.
Okay, so it is 60 instead of 50 now?
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, could be part of the decision. Once the difference was like 50 to 90, it was just too much for teams to really, or for players to really be able to argue against, as they had same general function, but you could use one almost twice as often, so...
Yeah, we do have Falstad flying into the top lane to help clear out on this Bruiser camp. Both teams have one of the objectives, so it's not really going to be able to try and get a Challenger DK anytime soon. I wouldn't be terribly surprised, actually, if Phoenix Rising Xanthite decided to commit the Sonya to bot lane to try and make this a nice team fight with a leap engage, but for the moment, both teams just working on taking and then clearing camps as applicable.
Yeah, top fort actually in a bunch of trouble. Falstad is going to be able to clean it out as the Bruiser Knights aggress onto, the fort. Triple avalanche here from Lazy Hydra is going to find 3 members of Match Ready. Leeming immediately taken out. Sugar Bear now in a bunch of trouble. Slowing Sands not quite in time to be able to follow up. But wow, that was a lot of damage, and Phoenix Rising Xanthite actually is going to get turned around on Hydra in a bunch of trouble. There goes the Gust, the second ult of the, push the team into the backline kind of thing, but Sugar Bear is just running rampant, even in this 3v4 scenario.
Oh, miss with the leap, but that should still be a kill out on the Sugar Bear. They do go down by the power of the Sonya and Falstad rotation. Teal is going to get taken out as well by the Falstad, and D.Va's actually going to get the interrupt by taking top lane, but that's still a lot of damage, a lot of XP going over to Phoenix Rising Xanthite, and they're in a position to try and push out this bottom fort and get actually the first building of the game, as top didn't go down earlier.
Yep, it just lived with a little bit of health, but yeah, I think very consequently, I mean, that's the first big team fight of this game, and it went solidly in the favor of PRX, although honestly, with that 3-person snowball, I'm kind of surprised that only one died immediately, and it was actually the lingering around of Match Ready that cost them all those kills.
Even not quite able to get the interrupt, but I do agree with that. It was a very scary, snowball cannon into Blizzard, into Chromie damage, and only one hero died from that initial burst, and Sugar Bear almost brought that whole team fight back with just the consistent flanking damage they were able to put out. So definitely Match Ready are not out of it by a long shot. They just need to defend this DK without taking too much damage. And one fort, they're going to get a fort in top lane from that D.Va, so they're really not in that bad of a spot, although that is not where Teal wants to be right now.
No, another good punt here from Phoenix Rising Xanthite. They've gotten a couple good kicks from the Dragon Knight that have knocked people into really bad positions, but yeah, they have failed to aggress onto this bottom fort a lot. I mean, Li Ming, very scary to push into, especially with the mirror ball, but really not finding a whole lot. Iron in a lot of trouble, is going to pop the Soothing Mist Cleanse to escape, along with some nice evasive blink healing. High five onto Teal is going to allow them to get off the Stormbolt and find the kill onto Brightwing, but now Teal in a dangerous spot. Joshua Scott leaps in for the counter kill. Paper Wall going to escape out with the Accelerando, and that is a 1-for-1 trade. Dragon Knight is done. Didn't find a whole lot of damage. Actually, no forts down to a level 16 Dragon Knight. That's pretty surprising, Ectar.
Yeah, in fact, they lost a fort in the top lane.
Yeah, neg 1 fort during DK phases. Not exactly the damage you're looking for, but Dragon Knight still is kind of paper until really late into the game. I mean, we are level 17, but it is only 12 minutes in, so...
Yeah, DK health doesn't scale as well as the Triglav health does, but its damage, especially its damage to buildings, really does. So when its health pool does start to get nice and large, it can afford to just stand there and take damage, as it puts out way more damage than either team really has the means to contest with without any significant percent damage. Although we do have the sustained wins from the Falstad, which will allow him to get percent damage on auto attacks.
Yep, that does make for good Dragon Knight clear. Should Match Ready pick one up here in the future, but for now, about a half-level lead for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. They're looking to try and get level 20 and then force down a fight before Match Ready. Meanwhile, Match Ready trying to find level 20 however they can before the next Dragon Knight comes up, whether that be through a gank, a pick, or soaking all the lanes effectively. But with the Shrines coming up soon, it is going to be a tough position for Match Ready.
Yeah, one thing that could make a really big deal that is a little on the understated side is actually this Brightwing pickup at 16, the Hush, which can combo really well off of the Snowball Cannon, giving that 1 second silence on a basic ability that you can reset to 2-second cooldown with that level 4 that he picked up. So Brightwing has the potential to be an incredibly impactful hero in these teamfights if you're able to consistently get these Q resets, and there's one right there.
Yeah, Hush is a very powerful talent. Falstad's actually barrel rolling over that first wall, so isn't going to be looking for an aggressive Gus. Actually going to play a defensive Gus to try and keep this members off the fort. Snowball Cannon actually used to try and push the Diva Bomb farther away from the fort to reduce the damage. Not sure about the total impact of that one on a 90-second cooldown, but it did its job to an extent. Now, Murden in a bunch of trouble. There's the Hush, as Ectar mentioned, but not quite in time to prevent the leap. But the nice zoning Blizzard actually isn't going to be enough to get Teal. Falstad going down now. Lazy Hydra in a bunch of trouble. He's taken out as well, and that's 2 kills there for Match Ready on what I thought was just a terrible spot for Teal to be in.
I apologize to all the headphone users in chat in 10 seconds from now. There is the level 20s now available for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, but being down 2 members means it should be relatively easy for Match Ready to get their own level 20. They have the hero advantage, so they're going to try and push this DK. Sonya will be there in time if Diva doesn't rotate up to get the contest on top lane. So this shouldn't actually be DK quite yet for Match Ready, but they're still up 2 heroes, and now they've got their own level 20, so they should be picking it up very shortly.
Joshua Scott dodges both a Stormbolt, Rewind Stormbolt combo, so that CC will not be available for Teal anytime soon, but they do have a Dragon Knight as level 20s are picked up. We've got the Rock Stopper for Cassia, the Wave of Force upgrade on Leeming, Rewind on Murden as we saw, and because Mixing Fire is banned, we do have the Summer Anthem here, which makes members unkillable while Amp It Up is active, so very interesting level 20s there for Match Ready.
I would have expected the house party, so I think this is interesting. I wonder how much value we're going to be able to see Paperwall get for it. We haven't seen Phoenix Rising Xanthite do too much single target or even AoE blow up, so you'll have to get very good timing on these to actually get saves, but it can be very impactful if you can get that into your heroic as well as a nice big E. Lazy Hydra does get a single target engage, and we do have a lot of CC coming out onto the merge, and especially with that huge Mighty Gust coming out, they just haven't been able to leave him. Brightly getting these Qs for silence. The Murden can't even jump out. They do get the DMAC, and they're going to be able to clear up this Dragon Knight so that the DK doesn't find a ton of value, but this means that, oh, big engage coming out onto Chromie. They do get the Blinking with the Brightwing for the nice save, though. No heroes still going down. A lot of ults getting committed. Even Teal is able to disengage. Joshua Scott is low. I think this slightly favors Match Ready, but they're going to try going under their opponent's keep. They find the kill out onto Brightwing, finally getting what they were looking for this whole time, but I still don't know if they can stay and poke this out.
That was a wild Valkyrie there from Sugar Bear. I mean, that was a naked Valkyrie. If I want to say that, yes. That was a no setup Valkyrie, if you will. That ended up landing onto the Brightwing that made that happen. So really nice one there. Grace actually goes in, pokes with a Q, takes an entire health bar worth of damage, 2 health bars worth of damage, and is taken out. Now this looks like a possible time for PRX. Idioms goes ahead and Mighty Gus Murden into the fort, or into the keep, and that's a pair of bonus kills there for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, down 4v5 there. So really nice pickup there from Idioms, and a little bit of an overstay there by Match Ready.
Yeah, May only staying alive from the Heart of the Swarm Flash Freeze. Although won't have it available now, it does get blown up pretty much exclusively by Sugar Bear. Cold Fashion was there as well, but really just kind of insta-gibbed by the Valkyrie engage. Very nicely done, making it sure that Match Ready doesn't fall too far behind in this game. They're still down 1 hero, but for a lot less time than their opponents are.
Sugar Bear's Valkyrie play has been really, really good. Valkyrie is one of those more unreliable ultimates that really needs setup to work consistently most of the time. And Sugar Bear is just landing Valkyrie after Valkyrie, and you can see it's taking PRX by surprise, and it's working very, very well for them.
We have Match Ready looking to maybe aggress in their opponent's camp. They are technically up in heroes, but not until Murden actually gets here. They should be able to stay here and poke this out long enough to get their full team here, although we do have a hard engage coming out from Joshua Scott before Teal's able to get here. Sugar Bear is going to get high-fived out of there, so that will be the camp getting picked up, and a lot of heroics and other long cooldown abilities being committed to make sure that they get this kill. Or this camp, rather.
Yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate anti-synergy there as the Gust knocked away whoever was being left on by Joshua Scott, so the stun never came out. There's the Valkyrie, again, completely unled into. Incredible double kill by Li Ming, 2 full combos, and Li Ming now low on mana, but this is bottom keep going down here. No objective being taken here, and Match Ready looking to push onto this raid boss of a core.
Yeah, basically any other map, and I'd say that's probably GG, but you can see Muradin gets petrified right there, does have the avatar to make sure that they do stay alive, but the stun from this core is so powerful that I think you can hold just about anything if you're able to get the right CC and the right follow-ups. Idioms with the huge Mighty Gust is going to push them off of the core. Core is falling, but still at 60%. Gigantic Leap is going to secure a kill out onto the Cassia. There's still 3 heroes alive. Core is falling 30%. Grace right-clicked onto it, and I think that they should be able to make it with the power of that.
No.
No. 4%, but Grace is going to be the sole hero left alive, and that is going to be the very close game number 1 going over in favor of Match Ready.
Oh, that's incredible. That is so close there. Almost the defense made by Phoenix Rising Xanthite, but Match Ready with just a couple of extra kills, or extra damage put out, is able to secure that core kill. Shoutouts to the Sledgehammer talent on Murden there. Probably put in a ton of damage to that core. Obviously, you'd have to go back and look at it, but with Perfect Storm and that Sledgehammer combination, that dealt a huge amount of core damage, and that would not have been possible without it. So, good pairing there from Teal, and Match Ready able to take a really exciting game number 1.
Yeah, I have the stream pulled up on my second monitor. We do have the Unkillable, which looks like it barely kept Lucio and Muradin alive for just another couple of seconds, which I don't think it made the difference necessarily, but it was very close no matter what way you look at it.
Oh, what an exciting game number 1. If all the games are like that, we're going to have a really fantastic series for everybody today, and hopefully, we've casted a couple 5 games. Let's see another one, and this game couldn't be much closer to as far as kills are concerned, so we could see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
we could also have just Match Ready getting a 3-0 sweep. I wouldn't want to see that. Not that I don't necessarily want them to win. A little bit of Western bias coming in here, but my caster bias definitely trumps my Western bias, and I want to see 5 games.
Absolutely there. So, yeah, that was again, really fantastic game. So, MVP of that game, though, has to be Sugar Bear. Those Valkyries started everything, and we were saying in the draft that you usually have to have a lot of CC to start those. Sugar Bear doesn't need CC. Just position it well, and works out. So, yeah, game
Sugar Bear don't give a shit. You know what Sugar Bear hits? Valkyries.
There you go. All right, game number 2 is going to be on Cursed Hollow. So we're going to go ahead and get in that lobby. This was picked up by Phoenix Rising.
Be determined.
No, it is Match Ready. It is Match Ready that picked this map, as expected.
Interesting. It's not interesting that that Phoenix Rising opted for first pick. That's incredibly normal. But I am a little bit surprised that this is the map pick for Match Ready because they are so teamfight focused. There is a lot of team fighting, but there's a lot of laning in between the team fighting on this map. Whereas Dragonshire, it's like it's basically all team fight and all laning all day. It's really both. Whereas Cursed Hollow has very segmented, this is when we lane, this is when we team fight kinds of phases, and I think that might favor Phoenix Rising Xanthite a little bit more.
I would tend to agree with you, especially since they showed a double global composition in game number 1. They're definitely not strangers to being able to run those wide macro compositions, so really not definitely seems like a comfort to them. Although I'd have to go check the, the stats to be really certain. And looking at it, Pyrrhix has played this map 3 times, but only won once. So that may be what Match Ready is looking at and saying, hey, they only have a 33 win rate, let's take them here.
That may be the case, because from what it looks like, Stats of the Storm, why are you so difficult to read sometimes? I think that Match Ready actually has chosen to play this map 3 times, and won all 3. So definitely feeling comfortable on this map.
Yeah, I would tend to agree here. If that is the case, if they have a pocket strategy here for the map, could be a good 2-0 lead. They do, as you say, play the Malthael a bunch. Why is there a triple report of the same game in Hero's profile? That is hilarious. That is something else. So yeah, you said they play the Malthael. Malthael exceptionally strong on the map. So could be.
They also play. They also play your favorite on this map.
They do, although they've played it once.
They have played it once.
Right. Match Ready's go-to composition for the vast majority of this season has been Varian, Orphea, Maiev, healer, offlaner. So I'm curious if we will see that at any point throughout this series. It seems almost inevitable that it would happen at some point.
I would definitely agree with that. I'd be actually disappointed if we didn't see that comp getting played at some point, unless they just have Varian ETC getting banned out every game.
Yeah.
But this does beg the question then, does the Cassia deserve a respect ban?
Don't think they're going for the Cassia ban if they've led with the ETC, because at least I would always prioritize banning out the Varian over the ETC, but obviously Teal can play either of those very, very well. I actually wonder if that's Teal, kind of because of where the accent is on the E. But I will continue to say Teal, because it's what everybody's done all year. Ectar, going to go inquire for us. I believe that's what that typing is, and you know?
It was actually a question of, is that potentially a reference to Majora's Mask? But no, that is not how you spell the name of the fairy in that game. So I'm going to continue with Teal, because I am American, and I only speak bad English. We do have the same bans in Round 1 coming out from the members of Phoenix Rising Xanthite, really respecting that single target blow-up style that Match Ready has played for so much of the season. And I believe we had Hogger banned out in game number 1.
And Uther?
Let's see if we get the Uther as well. Abathur. I like the Abathur ban.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if they're not planning on blow-up comp, and I think that it's reasonable to guess that this is maybe one of the less good maps for that style. So, banning out a potential Abathur, which is very strong on this map, and goes into a macro-heavy style, which goes against what Match Ready does, I think is really 200 IQ drafting strategy.
My question, Ectar, is there anybody on Xanthite that plays the Lost Vikings? Do they?
I
don't
inquire.
see one.
I will look.
I don't see a Lost Vikings game anywhere. But that would be an interesting pick. The Anubrak, actually a common pick for PRX on this map, is being picked up by Match Ready. So going to opt into the Anubrak for possibly, again, roaming compositions or gank style, which is kind of like a blow-up comp, but you do it in the rotation phase as opposed to a full-on teamfight strategy. But yeah, pair it with the Sonya, you've got a lot of capability. Uther picked up by Hydra. That is a main tank Uther, and really powerful against all these stuns that have already been shown by Match Ready.
Has been recently nerfed, however, in his tank capability. He got, I believe, a reduction in his self armor from 25 down to 15.
That's huge.
So, yeah, quite a big survivability nerf, as well as I think a baseline health and health regen nerf. So he is a lot squishier individually than he was previously.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a big changes, reducing his armor from 25 to 15 and using that Q for uptime, the Holy Shock, is really going to cut into his survivability, but, nonetheless, he's still a very powerful hero against stuns and other CC in general, so yeah, I think that's a good ban, leaving fairly strong with any kind of engaged blow-up comp, and, with all the stuns, leap, and all that's been drafted so far, I think that's very reasonable.
So you were inquiring about TLV. Clearly, it's already been banned out. Hiva does have a level 15 TLV, so maybe comfortable enough to break it out in a game in this series, maybe on Garden of Terror if we find ourselves there. But certainly not on this map, and I adore Sylvanas on this map because she does kind of like what Azmodan does, where during an objective phase she can say, I'm not going to show up, team stall for as long as you can, and just rip down walls and forts. But she's a better hero than Azmodan and can actually contribute to team fights reasonably. So I think Sylvanas is a really strong pickup for this map.
Yeah, I definitely tend to agree there. Double offlaner picked up by PRX. This is a really spicy composition, but I actually really like it for the map. Malthael, an effective offlaner, but can't really push buildings down that well. But he can double soak very well, and D.Va can hold a lane on her own, but is no slouch in team fights either. So I think it's a really cool composition coming out for PRX, and I'm curious to see what Match Ready is going to do to try and handle this. I'm going to go with the Lunara pickup, which I think is interesting into the Uther and the Lucio. I find her more difficult into double healer, in quotes, comps, but it's not true double healer, so maybe it works out. She does well against the offlaners.
I'm not... man, both teams are really interesting because you have the solo damage Cassia, which I don't know if it's enough damage to overcome Brightwing on any of the frontliners, and I mean, if she can rip off Valkyries like we saw last game, it's not going to matter. But I don't know if she's necessarily enough damage to go with the as the single damage dealer, but at the same time, I don't know that Match Ready have enough lockdown or single target damage, especially with the Lunara pickup, to finish out these heavy engaged kills. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see. This is going to be a very, very interesting game. It could go one way very, very quickly, or we could have a good 30-minute slugfest. We'll have to see as we get introducing these teams. On the left side of the map, in the blue trunks, we have Phoenix Rising Xanthite trying to pull a game back, bring this to a 1-1. We've got Lazy Hydra on the Uther, Hiva here hiding on the Cassia, Joshua Scott on the D.Va, Iron on the Lucio, and Idioms on the Malthael.
And on the right-hand side in the red trunks, getting this way later than we did in game number 1, they are match ready with Race playing the Sonya, Sugar Bear playing Sylvanas, Cold Fashioned on the Lunara, Teal playing Anubarak, and Paper Wall on the Brightwing.
Yep, and there's going to be an anti-Sylv setup starting here for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, but no shenanigans are afoot as Match Ready does go ahead and reveal in the mid lane, so... Taking a look at talents, of course, as we like to do. Everything is as expected, except, well, I say that. We have Wave of Light, which is generally more of the healer Uther build, but obviously still increases the duration of Devotion, which is very helpful as a tank. And Charged Strikes on Cassia, I think, is a little less common than the...
We also have the Overwhelming Affliction, so getting that percent damage against slowed heroes, trying to increase their single target blow up, and with Lunara, as well as Sylvanas' own 3 stacks putting slows on people, they've got a reasonably good way to set those slows onto people. So really looking to increase their blow up damage, which I guess shouldn't be much of a surprise, even if it's not the standardest of standard pickups.
Yeah, burst damage is good damage. Pretty much no matter how you cut it. Idioms is going to be able to take this Bruiser camp quite quickly, faster than Sugar Bear and Paper Wall combined. Is going to have to take a possible Hearthstone break, or is just going to rotate right on up to either get heals or go to the camp.
There was an engagement on the bot line onto Cold Fashion. They did find the Dong from Uther and a little bit of damage from the Fend, but really just enough to force Cold Fashion to hit the well at about the 1 minute 30 mark. So not going to have it up during the first objective unless it goes for a very long time. I'd actually like to see Paper Wall stay in the bottom lane here, make sure that they have a global available to stay in lane and threaten to just soak out the objective, but not opting to do that. We do have both teams having their camps meeting in the mid lane. Teal taking quite a bit of damage, but gets healed up very nicely from Brightwing, and really just looking to clear their opponent's spell armor first, that way they can push in more aggressively at the rest of this camp and wave.
Someone has finally commented on our blue trunks, red trunks thing. That is where it comes from, is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Total Biscuit. Not a whole lot of comments on it anymore, but it's still something we like to do out of tradition for the hero himself. And this is a really impressive push here from Match Ready, a 3v3 that has started to push and take down this entire mid wall here.
Yeah, that is one of the problems with the composition from Phoenix Rising Xanthite. They do not have a lot of wave clear unless they're able to bring one of their bruisers to bear. Cassia does great hero damage, but against a minion wave, it's kind of fend or bust, and you really don't want to just be sitting fending minions when you've got a Sylve team pushing on you. Grace taking quite a bit of damage, but is going to get healed up by Brightwing. Very nice anti-heal coming out from Joshua Scott with that level 4 talent. So a lot of lost value from the Brightwing heal there, but still a good position. I think actually for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they have the higher health bars, they've got the double healer, and I think that their comp does better without Malthael than their opponents does without Lunara.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. As this fight will get protracted out towards the level 7 range, Idioms also is able to double soak a little bit better than the Lunara is able to. Hiva going to go ahead and channel that tribute, as level 7s were just picked up as they went off for Match Ready, so not going to be able to leverage the talent advantage, even for a short duration that existed.
Ooh, we've actually got the a bit of an interesting deviation coming out from the Lunara, deciding that they already had enough siege damage. They're going to go into the Siphoning Toxin and Choking Pollen so that they can get extra damage with their Q hits, which just goes further into this single target style that they like to play, giving up a lot with the lesser siege damage and not getting the Splintered Spear for the extra spread, but definitely a lot better at killing individuals if they can actually land the Q.
For sure. That is, no, not a big Lunar player, so I'm glad you're able to add that there, but I think the most interesting talent so far has definitely been the Aggression Matrix from the Diva, as you mentioned out, which is a very rarely taken talent. It's rare enough that I don't know the talent name. Between Ectar and myself, we know most of the talents that are taken most of the time, but that's definitely one of the lesser used ones.
Yep, and Cold Fashion has actually got a really good matchup in the bottom lane against Idioms as individual heroes. So actually just coming in to rip a little bit of extra damage here. But Malthael really thrives when he can get into those minion waves and get a hit onto heroes and minions, but really against Lunara you kind of can't as a melee hero like that. So just getting this little extra damage in onto the bottom lane. Actually, they're looking to engage hard into Lunara now that they've got Joshua Scott in there. Not quite able to get in there as she's just a little bit too fast. We did have the objective getting picked up by Phoenix Rising Xanthite as well. But they're losing out a little bit in the bottom lane in just the damage that has been done over time. They actually get down to less than a quarter of their force health.
Yeah, that could be a big deal going forward, as that's going to remove one of the safety anchor points here for Phoenix Rising Xanthite should it go down, and unless the lane matchup changes from the Malthael Lunara, it is going to be that way. Now, a little bit of aggression onto Lazy Hydra, body block coming through from Teal. All the heals have been used from Hydra, and he's actually taken out, ascends to true healer form. But that gives level 10s here for Match Ready as they continue to push into this bottom lane and don't even need the black arrows, still drop them anyway to preserve minions. And they're going to go ahead and take the first fort of the game with just a single kill. And Yeah, level 10's now picked up for both sides. And we have Thornwood Vine, so that counters everything you're saying about single target blow up.
Sure does. And you know what? I don't like to call things out, specific too much, but I think that was 100% the nerfs on Uther. Pre-patch, I'm convinced he lives there with the extra 10 armor and the extra health that he has, because he almost made it out anyway. It was just the leftover dots that got the final kill there. So, Blizzard, you say you want Uther to be run as a tank. Your patch notes say otherwise, and we saw it here today.
Yeah, I think that's the second or third nerf to tank Uther. I mean, I thought he was in the viable but not oppressive spot in the recent patch, so I'm curious to see what people think of current Uther. Now, boss is being taken a little bit more slowly here for for match ready. PRX not quite in a spot to invade off of it, but they do have a really good position towards this tribute and don't have all their cooldowns there. Although they do have 5 heroes, which cannot be said the same for PRX.
True, but Teal and Grace took a lot of damage from that boss, and they took it just a little bit later, so they haven't had time to recoup health. Plus, their opponents have a double healer comp, so they're able to get their health bars up faster. Big hit with the Wailing Arrow. They're going to silence several members. The beat drop is going to save everyone for now. Uther's able to save himself with the Divine Shield, but isn't going to be saved for long as Grace gets in there with the leap, and that is going to be the first kill, but they're going to find a very quick counter kill with the last rites there. Joshua Scott is very low. Thornwood Vine is actually putting in quite a lot of damage over time, and but they're going to lose their only healer in the Brightwing, followed by the Anubarak. Iron is doing what they can to try and 1v1 Sugar Bear, but is going to lose that engagement. As we do have Malthael getting ripped out in the back. Sugar Bear is very low. Maybe doesn't even have enough mana to Banshees on out of there. Popping the possession to just try and get a little bit of a slowdown, but they are going to find the big shot, and that is going to be a lot of kills over to not quite as many kills, as I didn't count exactly how many heroes went down there.
Yeah, but I think the end result is Match Ready is in a very favorable position on this map. Despite the levels being similar and the number of kills being similar, they're up 3 forts right now. So that's really...
They're up 2 forts, but...
2 forts. Oh, they are up 2 forts. I did not know that the bottom fort went down. I guess I was from the boss, but they're up 2 forts. All 3 of the forts for PRX are down, though, so that's really a... That's really an important factor in this game right now, is there isn't going to be that retreat safe haven for PRX. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but with the bottom fort being down as well, this is going to be probably the most even fight that Phoenix Rising Xanthite are going to be able to find for a while, as neither team is going to be able to retreat particularly well. All of the R buttons are available. Idiom's just kind of running in there and getting some damage out onto Teal. Cocoon comes out, and that is a massive blow-up onto the Malthael. They go down very fast. Uther not having time to get that Divine Shield out. Gets it off now. A little bit of overlap with the beat drop, but that is still going to allow them to find the kill onto Anubarak. Still relatively even, although the health bars definitely have to favor Match Ready as they find another kill out onto the Nicasia. And without their damage, I think the members of Phoenix Rising Xanthite have to be in a full retreat, as Sugar Bear does not want them to leave.
No, does trade out for the Lucio, and that really will prevent PRX from trying to heal up and get back into this fight. Uther now taken out as well. Joshua Scott, the only remaining member here, and that is 4 kills for Match Ready to just 2 for PRX, and Match Ready going to send the Brightwing to grab this curse and begin the curse phase here. Siege Camp in the top is going to... Oh my god, that's so many globes. Is going to be able to help PRX defend this curse, but it's still a nasty spot to be in. Down level 16, down heroes, and down a lot of buildings already.
Oh my god, with the little XP globes, I'm getting like actual anxiety with all of those globes, because again, casters, we don't get color coordination. We can't tell which belong to which, so we just see a massive pile of XP globes in mid and top lane. I'm like, oh my god, we have to go get those. That's so much XP.
I know.
And, we were asking at the beginning of the game, do Match Ready have enough damage to enact their single target blowups? And I would say that this has been an emphatic yes, we do, as they are just barreling down the mid lane now. It's 4 versus 4 as they have Brightwing and D.Va dueling out in the top lane, but I mean, they definitely have the damage here to get a kill if they find the right CC engage.
Yeah, I think the big talent here is the Cold Embrace from Sylvanas. The 25 armor on Dagger basically nullifies Uther's trait, or trades evenly with Uther's trait. So that is a really important part of any kind of Sylvanas-based blow-up comp. So really an effective one there. Beat Drop has actually been opted as ult for Lucio, as we've seen multiple times, to try and counteract this blow-up. And it has been somewhat effective when he hasn't been stunned during the blow-up process.
You know what, though? Prior to that objective phase, Phoenix Rising Xanthite had 0 forts and 3 keeps, and after that objective phase, they have 0 forts and 3 keeps, so not getting a ton of value out of that. Like, the lanes are super pushed in, but that just makes it easier for Phoenix Rising Xanthite to get their soak. There aren't a ton of camps for their opponents to try and either take or invade. There's a lot of pressure in the mid lane with this Bruiser camp, but Phoenix Rising Xanthite did a very good job of defending and not losing any major buildings there, so match ready. It's going to be a very long time till they can get value out of an objective again. We see them rotating up towards their boss now, but their opponents are going to take their own boss as well. And I don't think that solidly favors either team too much.
No, especially since it's very likely that both teams are just going to grab their boss and then go defend, since both of them are pushing onto a keep. So I don't see anything too special occurring out of this, other than taking the bosses off the map and grabbing the XP off of them. So that is the order of business currently. A little bit longer delay for this next tribute, as it has been, as we did go through a curse phase, so it will be just a bit. But yeah, looks like match ready, not opting for the defense, but rather going to take the Sylvanas and a siege camp and really push onto the offense here into this top lane.
I like this play a lot, especially because they did rip their boss a little bit faster, so they were able to invade on their opponent's Bruiser camp as well. So they have a bigger wave coming in. They do have the Sylvanas trait. Gets popped, they use the Banshees to actually get it out from maximum distance, and I don't think there's any way that this keep stays alive. We have a hard engage coming in with the Divine Shielded Malthael, but they don't have enough damage to actually secure a kill there. A lot of split damage going out between Teal and Cold Fashion, but they're able to turn it around onto Idioms, and it looks like they're going to be the first to fall here. Actually, Grace is the first to fall. Idioms follows very shortly after, and Paper Wall is going to be the next to fall. It's actually going very nicely in favor of Phoenix Rising Xanthite, as they were able to turn this around with their sustain, with that extra armor from the Uther. The Uther does go down, but ascends to true healer form, but without the Uther, they don't have a strong engage condition, but just standing a little bit too far forward was the Lunara there, and they were able to get the kill with that Surge of Light coming up from the Cassia. Lost 25% on their core, didn't even pick up bottom keep, so all in all in favor of Phoenix Rising Xanthite, but they should be able to pick up the objective here, and that might be where we find the damage parity that they really need to get back in this game.
Yeah, because they have such a speedy loose... Oh, I'm curious why they're not picking this up immediately, just because they do have a hero advantage for now. Maybe they're going to try and push out lanes, pre-position a little better.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to clear out mid, maybe clear out top. If they were really feeling aggressive, they could have looked at invading, but I don't think they're actually going to do that. I think they just want to get heroes up, get a little bit of clear before they actually have this objective go out.
They will have a safe route to 20. Match Ready does have level 20 already, so I mean that does make pushing difficult, but nonetheless, Phoenix Rising Xanthite did have to pick up the tribute, or there could have been a recontest possible with those level 20s. So instead, they are running up to this top lane to try and maybe set up a bush gank. See, it is unclear what PRX is doing, other than rotating around the map and getting level 20. Lots of damage from Lunard. Let's see, those damage ticks are so impactful.
Yeah, and we do actually have the Forest Wrath, so giving the longer reach and longer vision, plus 2 stacks of poison. Not going into the intensifying toxin, which is the normal level 20 here, so they can get that extra damage when they're at 3 stacks. This is an interesting play, though, with Phoenix Rising Xanthite pushing into mid with all of the defense here as well for match ready. They're getting some value in top lane, but I don't know if they get that fort as the curse is ending in 5 seconds. They're definitely not going to get bottom, as they had that camp pushing in there. So once again, neither team really finding a ton of value off of these objective phases.
And notable stat, 0 forts have been lost during the curse phase. There might be one that goes down as a direct constant. That's so much XP. It really...
I think Nubrak is actually able to defend with the Pickles, though.
Yeah, he will. That is no forts gone down directly or even indirectly as a result of either curse phase so far, and apologies for saying blue team's core is under attack. It's not. It's the Raven Lord is very just
particular.
Yeah.
We do have a little bit of an engage coming in. Actually gone into a full engage now as Grace is going to use the leap both aggressively and defensively to get out of dodge there. The core is not under attack, Ravenlord, I swear to God. Idioms gets ripped out of that cocoon very fast. But a lot of buttons being pressed, but most of them relatively short cooldowns. Only, I guess, 3 heroics were used on the side of Match Ready, so they're definitely down in ult economy. Only the Divine Shield getting popped from the Uther here.
Yeah, and it is
although with the Bulwark of Light, that is an even more impactful heroic to have on cooldown, but I don't think either team is looking to be particularly aggressive. Although if either team is Ravenlord, I swear to God, it will be Phoenix Rising Xanthite with their better ult economy.
Yeah, Hydra's actually getting engaged on really heavily polymorph, so he can't use a Benediction. Beat Drop comes out from Iron to try and turn this fight a little bit, and it seems to have worked. Match Ready actually disengaging, but the health bars of them are quite strong. So both teams really not looking to make too much happen after that. Another skirmish and 2 ult trades into nothing happening. It is Bossa Nova from Lucio, so he is able to beat drop very, very often, every 30 seconds, but it does decay more quickly.
Match Ready sees that Idioms is in the top lane, but that is not enough information for them to actually try to rip this boss that's up. Grace and Sugar Bear are fully invisible. Sugar Bear does opt to move. Their opponent's checking that camp. We do have the Nubra coming in. Another beat drop coming in, preventing a lot of that damage, and that huge heal cut coming out from Joshua Scott. We do have a massive invulnerable coming out, and that is going to find a kill out onto Lunara and Sylvanas. They're going to use the power of Lucio to chase them down. That is a kill out of Brightwing. Teal shouldn't be able to get out of here as well. Looks like Iron is the only one actually still on the chase here, as Idioms and the rest of the team looking to maybe come in from behind, maybe try to find Grace.
Oh, that would be a nasty stagger if they find it. But
yeah, but it looks like they are just going to try and rip through boss. They will take this camp very quickly on the way. And they should use the power of Beetles to actually soak a lot of this damage. Beat Drop coming up because what is a 30-second cooldown when your opponents are going to be dead for that whole time, as Idioms is going to finish that camp, and they are going to try and make a defense on the aggression onto the core here. Joshua Scott getting that remote healing well from that liquid cooling is they're going to be nice and topped off for this. I don't know if Grace and Teal have what it takes to get the kill here, although Leap is coming up now, so we will have to see.
Yeah, Idioms is not particularly good on the core, but it is already down to 50%. Cassia doing a lot of damage, and with 3 heroes just now resurrecting, but the core being at 20%, I don't think this defense can be held. Another exciting finish on core. A new art goes down, and we are tied up 1-1 in this best 5 series. Phoenix Rising Xanthite takes Curse Hollow.
You know what we know what it means now, Ace, that both teams have 1 point?
What does
0% chance of a reverse sweep.
Oh, thank goodness. Put away your brooms. No chance of reverse sweep here. Another really close game. Last game was 12-11 in kills, favoring PRX. This game is 13-11 in kills, favoring PRX.
Is Cassia just an overpowered hero? Because look at those chunky damage numbers. Even siege damage going over to Cassia. Really nicely done by Hiva, but but we have a trend going. Whoever drafts Cassia wins the game.
Maybe Gokwe's onto something.
I really think he is.
That's pretty great. I mean, that's really it's a standout trend of sample size 2, so makes a lot of sense. All right, we're going to take a quick break between games 2, and if necessary, game 4 is. It's important to stay hydrated and keep the energy up for a possible 5 games. So we're going to take a quick break. Game 3 between Phoenix Rising Xanthite and Match Ready. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, welcome back to the Division A Grand Finals here for NGS Season 11. We are going to Alterac Pass as game number 3 between Phoenix Rising Xanthite out of A East and Match Ready out of A West, Duke It Out, and Ectar. This has been a really fantastic series so far.
It has. Both games ended with very close core calls coming out from both teams, so I often say that the difference between a Div B team and a Div A team is desire to win the game and knowledge of when you can do so. So you see these teams, they get 2 kills, and they're like, yeah, we can rip through an entire keep and kill the enemy team before that they can all res and kill us back. And that tends to be truer the higher up in games you go. You typically see the average game length goes down as player skill goes up. So both these teams very good at identifying when they can win the game and then going and winning the game.
Yeah, that's is the thing. I watch a lot of or whenever I watch the Storm League games, I just see, oh, they found 1 kill. Oh, they're trying to end the game now. It's really funny watching teams just try and end off 1 kill, whereas in Div, A to B, you're looking at 2 kills, and farther down, you're looking at like 3 kills or a team wipe to finish the game. But yeah, the level of aggression and the refinement on the play has been really impressive from both of these teams.
So we're going to Alterac Pass for game number 3, as chosen, it looks like, by Phoenix Rising Xanthite, and I would not be terribly surprised if their draft in this game looked very similar to their draft in the previous game. It's a map where you typically have a kind of 1-3-1 style, so if they end up going with 2 bruisers again, I think it'll be really good for them.
Yep, that is, it's on the onus of Match Ready to go ahead and, find an answer to that composition. So this map is a little bit more team fight focused. If I could, if I could compare it to Curse Hollow, but not particularly different here. So yeah, we will have to see how this goes, and I'm, excited to see what kind of drafts these teams have pulled out, because they've been quite interesting so far.
Does Cassia make it through the ban phase this time is the real question on my mind.
Well, Match Ready is first pick, so
I don't expect to see them banning it out, that's for sure.
Yep. Varian Cassia, ETC Cassia, Varian ETC, some combination of those bans are what I'd expect here from Phoenix Rising Xanthite.
Yeah, I would expect them to stick with their same bans for map 1 and map 2. Obviously they're 1-1 with it, but I would not be surprised if they just stuck with their guns, maybe even through the whole series, unless Cassia gets picked up by Match Ready and is impactful and they win again. Yeah.
By the way, wanted to mention, I think MVP of that previous game goes to Hydra on the Uthers. Those Group D shields, they're 2 very impactful ones. One on the Lucio when he was going to die in the first fight after level 20. And then, obviously, the huge 4-person D shield that allowed them to ultimately end the game were just massive. That Bulwark of Light talent was so impactful there.
Especially because they were tending to clump a lot in these fights, which was allowing Match Ready to get a lot of damage. And before level 20, the beat drop can maybe save some people, but Uther, he can really save 1 person, maybe 2 people if you count dropping heals on one and R on another. But after level 20, like you said, hitting basically sanctifications at that point, with your team being that grouped up, it can really make these team fights go very swingy into your favor.
Yeah. Uther, rebanned out by Match Ready, Hogger, Varian and ETC, so same bans as we've seen, specifically in Game 1, but really throughout this entire series so far. Ban strategy is not altering so far. Curious what these teams have done on Curse or Alterac Pass specifically, and Lucio continues to be first pick material. Is Paperwall going to take that mantle for this game?
My My blades are yours.
Ooh, the Tychus pickup I think is really interesting. Especially because it's this early. There hasn't even been a tank picked up. Obviously, one probably will be. Tanks are good in this game. And Sonya is just kind of phenomenal hero. All right, we have a third data point impending to see if we get a trend with the Cassia getting picked up, and the Murden getting picked up as well. So this is very much looking like their game number 1 draft.
This is identical so far to their game number 1 draft. There's literally no difference between the game 1 draft and not. So it is up to PRX to figure out, is this composition that Match Ready built in game 1 going to work all the same on All Track Pass? What kind of changes need to be made, etc.? There's a deviation in the ban strategy. The Orphea has been banned out, and you know what? I was kind of waiting for that to happen at some point this series.
We've got Phoenix Rising Xanthite's All Track Pass match history up on Stats and Storm right now.
1 map.
2 maps.
2.
But none of the heroes that they have currently drafted featured in either of those games, and neither of those games featured any duplicate heroes, so definitely not. They don't have a necessarily go-to strategy for this map, it looks like. They had a really interesting comp, actually. They had a Tyrael, Tyrande, Ana, Falstad, and Ragnaros pickup. They did end up losing that game, but it's a really wild strategy that they came out with. I hate Ragnaros on this map, but I think he's a really smart pickup on this map.
Yeah, tend to agree. The other game was against Baby on Board in their previous playoffs series, and they had the Uther Garrosh combo along with Diva, Kel'Thas, and Greymane, which I think is really interesting. And then Match Ready, again, 2 games played on the map and no duplicate heroes. And none of them matching these except the Lucio so far, so really curious to say Lunara and Malthael is going to round out the more DPS heavy draft, but still Lunara can offlane and Malthael an exceptional offlaner as well, so still covering all their bases that they need for some kind of composition like this.
Personally, I would really like to see the I'm bad at talent names. The extra creep damage on 4 from the Lunara. Just because wave clear is really important on this map. So I'd like to see that getting picked up here over the Siphoning Toxin. But
you've erased it from my brain, whatever that talent is.
Old Fashioned had really shown a lot of damage in that previous game, so I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see them do the same build either.
Yeah, very, very possible here. Where? It's not Splintered Spare because Culling, Nature's Culling.
That's the one, Nature's Culling. Thank you very much.
Yep, like I said, we know all the important talents in the game.
I was running through every other talent of hers that I pick up, trying to jog my memory, and I just didn't quite get there in time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the... Nature isn't the important word. I was able to come up with Culling and found that. I was like, there we are. So Stukov, final pickup, and I really like Stukov here. A lot of heal throughput here from Iron, if he's able to play it correctly, so I'm really excited to see how that happens. Alrighty. Here on the left side of All Track Pass, in the blue trunks, we do have Phoenix Rising Xanthite. The gem you didn't know about until the season. Idioms playing the Tychus, Iron on Stukov, Joshua Scott returning to Sonya, Hiva on the Leeming, and Lazy Hydra on a Nubarak.
And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, they are match ready, with Grace playing the Malthael, Cold Fashioned once again on Lunara, Teal on Muradin, Paperwall back on Lucio, and Sugar Bear playing the Cassia, continuing to go with that Thunderstroke on level 1.
Yeah, everything, again, seems normal on the ones. Don't have any notable talents. Maybe, okay, notable talent is the Warpaint on Sonya, as opposed to the Slam build that's dominated the meta for the last 8 weeks or so since the previous patch. But with the nerf, players are looking to experiment a little bit more with some of these talents.
I did remember to get a prediction going, so make sure you vote in that. I forgot to do one for the previous map, my bad. But now that we're in game number 3, this will be very important because it gives whichever team wins will be on match point for the rest of the series. So, very important map for both teams. We do have a Lazy Hydra dancing, doing a little bit of tap dance in the mid lane there, as both teams have split out members to go and take their respective null camps.
Yep. Malthael, again, able to do a great job of taking the camp.
You are on the draft screen.
I am not anymore. Already fixed
Excellent.
it. Already fixed it. And Iron and Joshua Scott taking camp here. Tychus died up in top lane. Teal must have come in for a rotation as I was looking at some gnolls being killed, but instead I missed the big space marine getting killed.
Yep, we had Lazy Hydra rotate up to actually catch out on that XP. There's an engagement coming up from Teal, tried to find something, but really wasn't able to. Yep, Blizzard did in fact make them want to take Aether Walker. We do have the Low Blow, which is not really the standard pickup, but within a Nubarak it makes a lot more sense because you're trying to find those individual picks, and that extra 100% damage for heroes below half health is actually quite big.
Yeah, Low Blow does Lurking Arm does a decent bit of damage. With Low Blow literally doubling up that damage, it actually becomes pretty significant, especially if you can get the Growing Infestation. You're going to be able to trap enemies in that for quite a significant duration, so really, I think a good pickup here, since Tychus is good at chunking heroes, but not necessarily killing them, even though he is going into the In the Rhythm as opposed to something like the Bigger They Are.
So we do still have the Siphoning Toxin coming out from Li Ming, not opting to go into that Nature's Calling, proving that I still remember the talent's names from 3 minutes ago. Throwing Shade actually coming out from the Malthael. This is a really interesting pickup, just because I never see it.
Yeah, I think if I were to gander a guess, it is to do with just playing a little bit more of a safe range and then being able to engage from farther away. Because their team is a lot more ranged, he doesn't want to stand too far forward, so that would be my guess, but obviously there are plenty of other reasons where it could be, because I'm not a Malthael player.
That is fair enough. Both teams are going to take their camps. Grace taking that even faster than Joshua Scott and Iron combined. So they're going to have a little bit of tempo advantage in the mid lane. Paper Wall is just kind of soaking out, killing out on these beetles, not really finding all that much value. We do have Grace looking not really to get the channel on this, but just to kill these defense minions to make it easier for them to channel later, although a nice hit coming out from Hiva. Does have the orb resets, and is going to find a nice reset onto Grace with Lazy Hydra getting in there, but not having the Impale it looks like available, so not going to find a stun train, just more of a stun sidecar.
I'd be stunned if I were hit by a sidecar. Kasi escapes with I believe very low health. I know Tychus was making some aggressive play up there to make it happen, and now Null Camp 4 match ready, has one out with the minion wave. It is very low, so not a whole lot's going to be done with it, but that pressure in mid lane is building, was building, as both teams go ahead, pick up level 7, and honestly, I don't even know if teams are going to take objective until, like, even the level 10 kind of range. This definitely is the map where teams incentivize the objective the least starting out. It's very interesting to see that.
Yeah, I do like that match ready, as mentioned before, did kill the defense minion, so they can at any time just go up if they get a rotation advantage or if they get a macro advantage or force someone to have to back. They can just go in and get a little bit of channel time in there. It's probably not going to end up being super impactful, but it could be. And one thing that is very impactful, actually, is Grace taking these camps as quickly as they are, because we can see Joshua Scott. He's been sitting here now for 10 seconds before these gnolls spawn, and Malthael's going to have this camp done about the time that Sonya's going to get started. And this just compounds over time.
Yeah, Grace actually timed that out literally perfectly as, Cold Fashion gets engaged upon. The full combo from Li Ming, not quite enough to take them out, but that was, I'm sure, a heart-stopping moment as Grace rotates in and channels exactly 2 seconds of objective. So we'll be done with this objective roughly by level 27, judging by this pace.
Teal coming in, just throwing a hammer and leaving, just getting that nice little stack. Really, both teams soak it out, camp on cooldown. Objective, I guess, if there's nothing else, it's kind of like Hanamura, except the camps are even weaker.
Yeah, I mean, there's just more lanes to soak and weaker camps. So, yeah, level 10's now picked up. with Last Rites, Avatar, High Five, the Valkyrie again for Sugar Bear, and Leaping Strike from Cold Fashion. So we will see that single target as opposed to the Thornwood Vine we saw last game.
Yeah, especially when it pairs with the big engagement. Trying to come out on the Lazy Hydra is able to just barely burrow charge away from that. Big, actually, no, reverse engage coming out onto Sugar Bear with the power of the leap, but is going to get out of there. Another 8 seconds get channeled on this objective, with all of the R's getting pushed, as many as did get pushed, but just going to back out. Soak lanes every day. Malthael hitting that camp up really about 2 seconds, losing a little bit of efficiency from their previous camp timing, but just making sure they get these as fast as possible. Cassia's going to start the top lane, and yeah, I think level 27 is about when this objective is going to get done here.
Yeah, but at least the Cavalry will be able to one-shot the core by that point. Pretty crazy. Hydra dives in to try and get Paper Wall, but the Accelerando is a bit too fast, and now Iron is going to be able, not quite, isn't going to go channel the objective. 0 seconds channeled there, as now the retreat is on. Stormbolt lands onto the Li Ming. Haiva is going to be able to teleport out. That Lurking Arm did so much, but it wasn't enough to secure Teal. Now Joshua Scott is the lowest, leaps to the well. I've never seen that before. As Match Ready is going to start the channeling process once again.
Yeah, and during a lot of that, we had Tychus in the top lane. They are here now, and the power of the Odin is going to force them out. Once again, getting the secure on the channel here. But Odin, or rather Tychus being the top lane, was really what allowed Match Ready to make that engagement happen. It was a little bit sloppy, and Teal almost died, but just being up, you know, that extra 20%, 25% capacity, just really showing why you never take a team fight outnumbered unless it's going to literally lose you the game otherwise.
Yeah, or you're just so good that you understand what makes a 4v5 work, but you know, you see that at like the best team in the world tier, and that's about it. So
yeah,
yep,
and the answer to that is ult economy most of the time.
Or, you know, just knowing everything your opponents are going to do. All right, no channels here, so continuing to be like any kind of antenna-based TV. There are no channels available by Lunara. Oh my god. Oh.
Almost got out with a leaping strike onto Idioms, but that is going to be actually the first kill for Phoenix Rising Xanthite this game. Grace is going to get one interrupt with the throwing shade there. But with that Lunara kill, she will be back in 17. I don't know that they're actually going to be able to make a defense on this. But we do see Cassia starting to get some nice value in top lane. That is entirely too many XP globes for me to be looking at. We have Grace back on the camp, Joshua Scott back on the camp. And it looks like they might actually be able to get the recontest here. Teal taking a lot of damage. She's going to turn around onto Idioms, but is going to have to pop the Avatar to get on out of there. They are going to get the channel. They get the channel. A nice engage coming up from Sugar Bear is going to find a lot of damage. And the Stormbolt stopping Iron from finishing his heroic is going to get them killed.
That is a great play there from Match Ready. They got the channel, which was taking advantage of their opportunity. But getting that kill onto Stukov is going to compromise the position and the power of this push severely. So despite Phoenix Rising Xanthite getting that objective, not a whole lot can be done with it, and we'll probably return to a pretty neutral state relatively soon.
Yeah, bottom lane is going to get cleared up nicely by Cold Fashion. No Nature's Calling to take it down especially quickly, however, but without anyone contesting it, you'll really only get some wall damage, but Phoenix Rising Xanthite really looking to put in a lot of pressure in the mid lane. We do have the high five coming out to get Teal out of dodge. They are pretty low and do get leaped upon. They don't have anything to save them. Avatar still on cooldown for 25 seconds. Another very powerful kill. The extra 30% damage coming out. And a huge orb is going to find another kill, this time on the Cassia, immediately coming out of that cocoon. Really nicely done, and really starting to snowball this advantage for Phoenix Rising Xanthite.
Yeah, they weren't able to... I said Stukov's death was going to really stifle this push, but they were able to group up as 5 and really push down that mid lane with a lot more power than Match Ready were expecting, and now they're going to be able to rotate up and take this boss. The first real difference / advantage for PRX in these kind of camp exchanges that have been occurring so far, but match ready, they might be looking at it, but they definitely won't be able to get here in time.
Yeah, really smart on Adium's, Iron, and Hiva to actually rotate out of vision. Huge stun into stun. Nice Unstoppable is going to come out. Actually stops the leap from getting the stun, but is still going to find a double kill onto Melthael and Cassia. They do get a counter kill onto the Li Ming, and that is a lot of their potential damage. And without the leap engaged, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to find additional kills, especially with these incredible high fives coming out from Paper Wall. But that boss and the one hero advantage likely going to find this top fort, though they rotate the Sonya out to get that mid XP, so they're not going to be pushing with this boss anymore. So I don't think they will actually get this fort any longer.
No, but they do have the capability of rotating down to bottom boss if they so desire, although with Li Ming dead, it trades out some of their scary teamfight kill potential. Top fort? Let's see, yeah, that's going down. Slapped by the boss, and that is the end of that. Level 16's now picked up for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, and yeah, pretty interesting. We do have a Virulent Reaction that is the yellow one. There are 3 Lurking Arm talents on 13 for Stukov, if I remember correctly. And, you know, sure that's right, is a good one. So, yeah, could land some of these very impactful combos as this match, or as this game goes on.
As everyone's favorite second best boy likes to point out, Virulent Reaction is one of the hardest combos to actually hit in the game. But if you're able to get some setup from, I don't know, Burrow Charge into Impale, it becomes a lot easier, and then it's just one of the most powerful CC combinations in the game. With a Root and a Silence under it, it's not quite a stun, but it's very close.
It's a stun for all practical purposes. The only thing they can do is auto attack and panic.
Panic being the operative thing there.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, not a lot can be done about it. 16's for both teams, though, so we do have parity in that regard as Match Ready goes ahead. Channels up this camp, so half of the timer was used, so 20 seconds remain, and poking continues. It's full E-build, full teleport build here for Li Ming, Hiva, but does have the poke capabilities with the Triumvirate on level 4 to reset the W cooldown, so does have that really nice objective poking capability.
I actually really like this play coming out from Phoenix Rising Xanthite. I'm like, why would we ever take an even team fight when we could just not do that and continue to gain advantages on the map with our building advantage? They will have to stop their opponents from actually getting the channel, but they have a lot of ways to do that between Li Ming, Stukov, and even the Tychus with the extra grenade range on that level 1, so I could see them poking this out for a long time. They're gonna get their siege camp getting picked up now. Joshua Scott has been already picked up quite a while ago by that Malthael. Nice engage coming out onto Iron, and a huge Fen combo is gonna get them down to half HP, but without any follow-up. Stukov is one of the most capable healers of just eventually getting that health back. Big damage coming out. Oh, with a growing infestation, going to keep Teal in there even longer, but they are able to waddle on out of there as the Virulent Reaction did not land.
Yep, and all of this defense is being done 4v5. Phoenix Rising Xanthite picks up their null camp. Joshua Scott rotated down to take that. Now Grace looking to take that as well, but they have to be there for this objective defense here, as it's going to be a 5v5 fight. And with half the timer down, I don't know which side it goes for. I don't believe so. Doesn't matter. It's very important. Muradin gets taken out with the leap combo. Lazy Hydra, though, is going to be the counter kill both tanks out of this fight. Now, Idiom's going to take a bunch of damage, but does survive the last rites, and both teams going to have to back off. But again, this is a very defensible position here for Phoenix Rising Xanthite if they can get the interrupts, which, of course, Stukov can. Ooh, but it is going to cost
big
them.
Combo actually hits out onto 2 heroes. They are able to find a very quick kill out on the Tychus, and they should get another one on the Iron as well. Joshua Scott even starting to lose the 1v1 versus Grace as well. I fully expect to see Grace rotate out of here as soon as they're able to get the channel so they can start picking up that null camp.
Yep, Paperwall's trying to zone out Li Ming, but with the diamond skin on 16, there's not a whole lot of impactful lasting damage that Lucio can do, so...
No, he's really just there to provide vision so that Grace can dodge the damage coming out from Hiva.
Yeah, for sure. So, nice job there. Objective is being channeled, and with 20 seconds remaining, 2 heroes will be dead for pretty much the entire duration of this. So, Phoenix Rising Xanthite going to be engaging... Okay, thinking better. Discretion is a better part of valor on that engage. And it goes ahead.
I don't know.
And
They
backs
didn't
off.
actually. Lucio wasn't actually there at the time, so it was a 3 versus 4. But without a healer, they could maybe have found a blow up onto Grace. But the big thing there is Li Ming was a little bit too far on the south side. Couldn't have contributed meaningfully to that team fight. So just kind of a flubbed engage will mean that this objective will go over to match ready. And again, they don't have the greatest siege damage in the game, but plus 30 damage on from the cavalry camp will make anyone's siege damage pretty good.
Yeah, some could argue that it makes it 30% better, but that is just an estimate.
No, I'll leave that up to the scholars and mathematicians to debate about.
Can we write a proof for this? And I'm
God,
almost.
I hate writing
I was
proofs.
about to say I made somebody triggered in chat, and I didn't know it was my friendly co-caster here. So
Not friendly for long if you keep this up.
fair
Erden
enough.
just kind of sitting in a bush looking for an engage. Maybe going to go on to Iron as he actually does get scouted. Not going to find it as there's a nice disengage coming out from the Lazy Hydra. Huge Valkyrie, but an even huger virulent reaction is going to find the counter kill onto Murden, but they find the Anubarak as well. And trading at the tanks almost certainly has to favor the team with the big chunky damage in the form of that cavalry, but it will be going down relatively quick here.
Yeah, tanks survivability is optional this game, as it's basically tanks go in, or teams go in, no tanks walk out, is the story of this game so far, but it looks like Match Ready want to try and sneak this boss. Let's see how the...
I think that Phoenix Rising Xanthite wanted to defend this boss take because Joshua Scott was in bottom lane and they hearts that they could get here for this defense. And Match Ready deciding they don't want to take an even team fight and opting to just go take their siege camp instead.
Yep, good choice there, I think. They definitely would not have had that done in time. Level 20s are online for both teams, so we've got the No One Can Stop Death, the Intensifying Toxin, Rewind of Murden again. This time we have the House Party from Lucio and Rockstopper on the Cassia, so pretty impactful. I mean, most 20s are impactful, but these are especially good.
One thing to shout out is the Imprisoning Light, the Valkyrie upgrade coming out on that Cassia.
That is Cassia, not Rockstopper.
Yeah, so roots and silences anyone hit by the Valkyrie, and not just the target that is impaled by it, but everyone that it hits on the way in. So makes that heroic a lot more impactful. Lazy Hydra is just going to get melted here. Does have the reset, but is going to get blown up very fast. Grace is low. The huge lurking arm on the point is going to get a lot of value. We do have the Ming sets coming in, blinking in with that Cannon Calamity, finding tons of damage, but that is going to be the boss going over in favor of Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Joshua Scott is going to get taken out as well, but Hiva looking to find the Murden, doesn't find the Murden. They trade out 5 for 2, but lose the boss. I think that has to favor Mash Ready.
Yeah, I think. I mean, that's game over if they don't get the boss. Hero of that goes to... hero of that goes to the Stukov. I like that the Malthaels are like, yeah, I guess I'll press this button halfway through my death timer so I can go help the objective.
It helps the objective. They can also take that camp now that it's available. So I really agree with using the no one can stop death here, even if it was partially through. So they can get this initial, probably 30, maybe even 40 seconds before their opponents can really mount a defense if the rest of the team comes to defend on here. Teal and Mr. Cold Fashioned are going to take this camp instead. So if Phoenix Rising Xanthite are very quick, they can maybe try to make a defense here before it's 5, but it does not look like that's what they're playing.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're just going to go ahead, poke out this objective just a little bit to prevent the easy retake from the minions, but not looking to do a whole lot with it. The retake is done by the minions, so 13 seconds left on the timer, and Lazy Hydra does not make an engage happen while this is going on. So, yeah, full 5v5 team fight capabilities again, and... you know, fights have been going. The last fight went well for Match Ready. Let's see if they can duplicate the success, or if PRX is going to find a little bit of a better angle and make the next one work.
Yeah, we do have Joshua Scott taking this null camp once again. If Match Ready are able to identify that, they might try not to take this camp. It's the hardest camp in the game to invade, but they can maybe try to make a play for the objective. We have Paperwall trying to do it now. I'd like to see Teal playing a little bit more forward so that they can try to zone out and maybe get someone to channel, or at least force Phoenix Rising Xanthite to push buttons as interrupts that, they go out to interrupt the objective, but they're not going out to actually hit heroes necessarily.
Yeah, that does seem to be the case. Level 22 now being picked up for both sides, so no scaling advantages coming over. I think as far as defensive positions go, this is a little bit more defensible for Match Ready just by the asymmetric design of this map as far as one objective phase is concerned. Idioms goes ahead and gets the channel started for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, so they're going to be able to start ticking down that timer, although with the full retreat on, not too much to be gained, 11 seconds off the timer. And yeah, teams just playing very cautiously, trying not to force a fight that would cause them to lose the game immediately. So a wise decision there.
Yeah, whereas most maps in Heroes of the Storm are mirrored across the Y-axis, this map is actually mirrored across the origin, being flipped both horizontally and vertically. Huge lurking arm coming out, hitting onto several members, but that is a very fast blow-up onto both the Leeming and the Tychus. All of the damage is dead for the members of Phoenix Rising Xanthite, blown just completely out of the water by Match Ready as they find that follow-on kill onto Stukov. They will get the channel, but look to see the rest of the team just starting to push down the bottom line. They should leave one here for the channeling, and everyone else should just be pushing down buildings with their man advantage.
So as you mentioned, the Imprisoning Light was the pretty insane talent there. I mean, what can we say more about Sugar Bear's Valkyries this series? They are game-winning in such an incredible manner. When that Valkyrie connects, it releases a wave that roots and silences. That is the virulent reaction equivalent for 3 seconds. That is an insane amount of time. And it hit the Li Ming and it hit the Tychus, so the DPS were deleted immediately from that. And that just, I mean, killing any two of a type of hero is just a fantastic way to secure a team fight instantly.
Yeah, the game is definitely not over yet, but it's a pretty dire position for Phoenix Rising Xanthite to defend. It's a defense they can make, but I don't think they ever make it and keep all of their, keeps alive. So, Match Ready could definitely end here. They've been playing a little on the conservative side during this series. I wouldn't be surprised if they were just happy to take all of the keeps and then maybe try to rip a boss. Bosses are available in both lanes, but I would like to see Match Ready try and find a pick with what they have available, but it doesn't look like they're going to get anything. Although they are going to make an engagement happen here. There's a huge engagement going on to both Hiva and Idioms. Hiva's the first to fall. Idioms is going to survive. Cold Fashion is able to escape as well, but the court is falling very fast with no armor, and that is going to be now the 2-1 advantage in favor of Match Ready. And a trend 3 Cassia games as the winning hero.
So, banning Cassia. Do we see it? Do we see it? I mean, that is, pretty good. No abuse on a Lucio bug here. We've got the legal house party talent here at 20.
This is the talent I would have expected to see. Yeah. Normally, the Summer Anthem was a surprise pickup for me. We did have the Intensifying Toxin getting picked up this game as well, and you could definitely see that. I don't know how much you could really see that because a lot of those 20 fights were over incredibly quickly, but you generally can see the extra increase in damage is very impactful. Yeah, just Sugar Bear's blind Valkyries joke on Imprisoning Light because it blinds heroes when you hit off of it have really been incredibly impactful this series. It's hard to overstate how much value they've been getting off the Valkyries.
Oh, Ectar, you typed in chat before the game ended on stream. RIP.
RIP.
RIP. Spoilers. Yeah, I mean, Cassia, top siege damage and top hero damage.
I mean, to be fair, I'm the co-caster. I can just type in chat while the game's going on because I don't have to control the camera.
Yeah, true facts. I'm going to type in chat, and the game's not going to end. I'm going to bait everybody. You just watch it. But yeah, Cassia, top siege damage, top hero damage, 3 games in a row. I mean, for the team at least, this was the first time that, even any players match up. But like, wow. She's a good hero.
That's the top tier commentary that they pay us for.
Wow. They're getting everything they paid for is, wow, that's a good hero. So, I mean, what do you want? What do you want? I can go on about the numbers. I can go on about the Valkyries. But, I mean, in the end, Cassia's 3 games, 3 wins, easy peasy. So, shrug. Also, Lucio, 3 games, 3 wins. Hold up, because it's been Lucio first picked all 3 games.
Yeah.
So that means Lucio Cassia on the same team. We need more variables to be cut out here. And we might cut one of them out on Garden of Terror.
Ooh, we are going to get the Garden of Terror. I wonder if this means we'll get another TLV band coming out from Match Ready, or if maybe they'll get to sneak on in there.
Well, I don't think the Abathur ban would be a thing. So maybe they ban Cassia? Maybe? Maybe? It is unclear what the teams are going to do, other than definitely keep Cassia up, because that just is apparently the agreement that they've made.
I'm cool with having, just a tacit agreement to always let Cassia in, always pick Cassia, and then always win with her.
Yeah, I mean...
That is fair. If we had an observer, neither of us would have to actually control the camera, so both of us could type in chat, but... I don't know, I would feel weird slightly leashing myself to somebody else's camera. It would mean that I'll always be talking about the right thing, but I like looking around the map. I like controlling my own vision, even if it's not what's going to be shown on stream.
Yeah. And I have done observing before, actually, and I definitely know the value in observing. We just didn't set it up beforehand, and I feel comfortable enough doing it on my own, but definitely something for the high-profile stuff. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining us, by the way, as we're setting up for this game number 4. We've got a whole bunch of people here for our Div A Grand Finals, and it's pretty exciting.
Little known fact, 7thAce has also done observing for Overwatch, and Overwatch has kind of a terrible observing system because
horrid.
as of the last time that we spoke about it, there's no way to leash your vision to an observer, even as another observer.
No, oh, it's terrible. Don't get me started.
Unlike StarCraft, unlike Heroes of the Storm.
Oh man, it's frustrating. Maybe Overwatch 2 will do it when it comes out again in 2028.
Speaking of Overwatch 2, do you see that it's going to be 5v5 or 6v6?
Yeah, that's kind of wild. And they deleted a tank role instead
that surprised
of...
me.
Yeah, because
I would have expected maybe a support to go.
Yeah, I was thinking, you could go tank, rework some people into bruisers, do the 2 DPS, and then a healer. But instead, they're going to solo tank, double healer. Now, I do like the double healer because you do get more peeling for the healers in this case. Dive is extremely prevalent in Overwatch. So, having a healer to heal the other healer is probably more important than in Heroes. But
at the same time,
I think it's neat.
Overwatch's lethality being as high as it is, I feel like you'd get more value out of having 2 tanks than 2 healers in a 5-player setup.
Yeah.
Granted, I haven't played Overwatch in 2 years, and I've never really watched it, so this is going off of old information, but... just for those in the chat, just killing a little bit of time, we do have a couple of players going to the bathroom, so just kind of filling airtime at the moment.
I mean, I didn't intro it as the Ace and Ectar, here's the Stormcasting podcast, but we do just kind of talk about things as we go along, because, throughout the course of the season, you do have some games that run long, some pauses, and everything else. Match Redu is ready, as I hear, so we will be getting into this game number 4 here on Garden of Terror.
So you did mention some games going long. Did you know that Season 11 has had the single longest NGS game since at least Season 3? That's as long as Stats of the Storm information goes back.
How long is that game? 41 minutes or something?
40 minutes and 19 seconds.
Puke.
Yeah, I would not be wanting to play in that game, personally.
Oh.
At least they didn't play long enough to hit the XP overflow values.
Yeah, that's something wild. I mean, that's just an insane amount of game length there.
It was Infernal Shrines, too.
I can believe that. That or Tomb. One of those two. So,
Yeah, the objectives are a little bit weaker on that map, I guess, so maybe that could be part of how you get a map that long.
Yeah, for sure. So far, same bands, question mark.
Frankie Hero suggesting they're going single tank because no one actually wants to play
That
the
is
tank
true.
role in
That is
Overwatch.
true. If you think you have a tank problem in Heroes, you have a bigger tank problem in Overwatch.
I know, Arisa was so fun to me, though.
Says
I was
nobody.
bad with her. I was bad with her, but she was fun.
You may be the only person who shares that opinion, because a lot of people call Orisa M1 snooze. But that is true that tank players are desperately needed in the game, because it's been developed in a way where, imagine, like, we've all played tank in Heroes, where you have the game where you go in and you explode instantly every time, especially on like Diablo or somebody. No Cassia ban. No Lucia ban. That's what it's like all the time in Overwatch, because lethality is so high, and unless your healers just like pocket you all the time, that's what happens. Speaking of healers, first pick Lucio. We are in the Beats meta now.
We sure are. Oh my goodness, we don't have Cassia getting picked up immediately, which means I fully expect to see it getting picked up here, and congratulations, we've got a Game 5.
Wait, hold on. Hold on, we have to see the pickup. I mean...
Hold.
Wait for it.
We do actually have Orphea getting picked up for the first time, which is the most classic pickup coming from Match Ready. Ace, I heard that inhale. I know how excited you are to see Maiev.
Of course.
But
they've lost.
we could have a Cassia getting banned out here.
I know, we could have a Cassia, and then it would just be automatically over. We wouldn't even have to, play this game. But I believe this is a pick deny for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. I think this is a flex pick they were planning to do, Cassia or something like that. But the Orphea and the Maiev have been linked very closely through Match Ready season. And
Hiva's got 99 games of Maiev in just Storm League, so this is definitely not.
It's not
a hero
just
that they're uncomfortable on.
Correct.
We do
correct,
have the Cassia getting banned out. That is the correct ban. Well done, idioms, for pressing the ban Cassia button. You have a chance remaining in this game now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was looking through, both of these teams actually play Maiev, which makes me very, very happy. But I think it is as much of a pick as a deny. So, yeah, I mean, Match Ready knows well and good how good Orphea Maiev cage combos work, both receiving and dishing it out. Smile. But White Mane as the healer, and a Nubrak, actually one of the better anti-Maiev tanks in the game, exists. So, really going to be that little pair has made it a lot tougher for Hiva to do what they want. Tyrael Chromie. This is a deviation, and Garden of Terror Chromie. Do I like it? I think I like it. I think I do, because you can poke objectives so long and then off-soak, but also... I don't know. I'm interested.
So I think that the White Mane pickup has to be an anti-Maiev tech. Assuming that the Maiev is going to go in, do Maiev things, and put people in a cage. White Mane, as long as you can get that devotion out onto the engaged target, pop the... I can't remember her heroic ability. Pop her big
Searing
healing
Light?
AoE
No,
button.
that's Aria 1. Yeah.
No.
Consecrated?
Divine Reckoning?
Divine Reckoning sounds right.
Something. You know, pop her heroic, and assuming there are going to be other heroes in there, give just a ton of extra healing. At 13, she gets the damage reduction on her W, So it can really minimize the amount of damage that is put out by the members of Phoenix Rising. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't necessarily like the white main pick because she's white main, but I like the idea behind it.
Yeah. We could have the Scarlet Aegis as well being picked up, which grants Unstoppable to everybody, so they can just walk out of
Grant's
jail.
unstoppable at 20.
No, Scarlet Aegis. Oh, you are right. It is the level 20 upgrade. That is correct. So that could be some of the tech. But let's get into this introduction here in case you just haven't heard us say it 3 times already on the left side of the map. In the blue trunks, fighting to keep this series going to a Game 5, it is Phoenix Rising Xanthite with Joshua Scott on Diva, Iron on Lucio, Lazy Hydra on the Tyrael, Hiva on the Maiev, and Idioms on the Chromie.
And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, looking to close it out here, it is match ready with Grace playing the Sonya, Sugar Bear on Greymane, Cold Fashioned on their signature, Orphea, Teal playing a Nubarak, and Paperwall is stacking it up on the thick Mama Whitemane.
Wow, the Thigh Inquisitor going for stacks. I think that's a really interesting one. Back to the slam build for Sonya as she swaps sides into the other team. Maiev, no surprise, onto the Naisha's Memento at level 1, pretty much mandatory for this kind of map and composition. Lots of Fan and Knife resets so far, so I like what I'm seeing.
I did go ahead and verify that Thigh-Main's heroic is called Divine Reckoning.
I did as well.
And personally, that's the one I expect to see here, unless they themselves are getting engaged upon a lot. But I would expect them to be playing back far enough not to be getting hit with the chains, so that they don't get pulled in and they can actually heal whoever the engaged target is.
Yeah, very important there. Maiev, very, very good camp taker with the Naisha's Memento. As you see, the bouncing auto attack basically triples up her auto attack DPS. So very, very efficient at taking these camps early on. So yeah,
And the only thing you have to do to reset the cooldown that is just reset a Q once. Just hit 2 heroes with the Q and you get a reset of Naisha's Memento. Doesn't have it available here, which is why I have to see Iron come in, drop a nice heal, provide a little bit of extra damage on this camp. But that's 2 very quick camps taken, as they were able to take both of the ones on the south side. This map, like the one before it, rotationally symmetrical or mirrored across the origin.
Yep, 180 degree symmetry is pretty neat because it creates some kind of asymmetries in the lane. For example, the off lanes have Bruiser versus Siege camps, so interesting there. 3 heroes in the bottom lane for both teams right now, fighting with those Bruiser and Siege camp. Sugar Bear a little bit low as Paperwall pops the what was named Fanatical Power. Is it still Fanatical Power on trait?
It is still Fanatical Power on trait.
Okay, it's called Zeal. It doesn't have a special name, but
Yeah.
it'll be called Fanatical Power.
A little bit of a build deviation once again coming out from the Sonya. We're going into the Hurricane, giving you the reduced cooldown on W and root removal.
There are no roots.
There are in fact no roots, but there are slows, and it also removes those.
Yeah, and the cooldown reduction's probably the most impactful part of that. Nice Fan of Knife resets again, so Naisha's available for taking camps in the future. And Tyrael going to be able to help the team escape. Iron's going to actually retreat the other way, and with the Accelerando is going to be able to push off and leave, but the space afforded is going to let Paperwall just channel this first seed and then go about their way, working towards level 7. Joshua Scott's going to take a bunch of damage, and boosters are down. Diva Bomb can go off, going to tether Teal back towards the tower. God, that's so many T's. I think it's run down by the Chromie and the Diva for first blood for Phoenix Rising Xanthite.
Yeah, I was going to say before that I think that it was a nice little advantage for match ready, leaving Sonya in the top lane the whole time, but with that kill, losing out on a lot of the potential tempo that they could have gotten with the 5-man rotating around in the mid lane area. But Engage potentially coming out with Joshua Scott. He does scout that Grace and Cold Fashion are on this camp. They have not seen Paper Walls, who does once again pop the Fanatical Power just to get one little what's it called, Clemency onto the Sonya, but actually breaks it before the full channel duration. Rest in peace, Healer Tears.
Iron's actually going to go and try and get the boop. Isn't going to quite connect there. So, no harm, no foul there. For my white main play, D and R inextricably linked together. There is no time where I use D without R and R without D.
Yeah. White main definitely a DNR, do not resuscitate kind of a hero. We did have the objective getting picked up by Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Maiev looking for an engagement, but not quite able to find it. But we did have Grey Main in the bottom lane the whole time, ripped down the entire front wall and the well, looking to get some damage in on the actual fort as well, but should be able to disengage before Lucio and Maiev are able to get here and punish their overextension.
Yeah, about that. Lucio's here to punish an overextension, has a reverse amp to cause a slow, then Chromie's Mobius loop at level 7, and now the slowing sands are going to result in Greymane's death. Stayed around just a bit too long, and that's going to, for all practical no! Cold Fashioned, you monster! Drops the spray afterwards, too. I mean, that Lucio just got dumpstered. What a bush gank right there. Solo play from Cold Fashioned. That's a hero kind of play because that's a given objective otherwise.
Yeah, we do have Teal finally coordinating correctly with these minions to get them off of their healer and get that channel relatively quickly. That's another one of the hallmarks of once you start getting to mid-high level play is on these maps, not killing the minions, just corralling them so you can get the very quick channels. A lot of times it doesn't matter a whole lot as the enemy team will either be there or not. But there are times where that just, 2-3 seconds really does matter. And, like a lot of competitive games, Here's the Storm is a game of inches. And if you're just able to take a couple more than your opponents, it can often be a lot to really get you into that position to just win the game outright.
Yep, true. Haiva goes in with Shade of Vengeance, but doesn't decide to commit to the engage. We do have the Warden's Cage here for Maiev, along with the Sanctification High Five, Slowing Sands, and the Micro Missiles, which are all pretty standard across the board, I would say. And then Leap, go for the throw, the Eternal Feast, Cocoon, and Unknown for White Mane, so waiting probably the most contested ult choice, I would say.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. We do have the Intercession, which is very expected in this comp, and we do have the Divine Reckoning. So really looking to disengage Maiev shenaniganry.
Yeah, Maiev shenaniganry.
We do have Maiev shenaniganry, and we do have a Sanctification, which actually prevents the damage, and therefore the healing coming out from the Divine Reckoning, but Teal is able to get out of there. Cold Fashion pumping in some good damage. Sugarbear actually finding the kill with the go for the throw onto the Maiev. And, both Bruisers are just going to kind of duke it out on the top lane. But it should be Match Ready's objective to win here if they're able to use their man advantage.
Well, they couldn't actually. Paperwall ended up hearthing there, so priority is for Phoenix Rising Xanthite here. And I don't think there's actually going to be an interrupt, so 2-2 on seeds now. So the next seed, which could have a talent tier disparity involved with it, is going to be very critical.
Yeah, I want to check out the XP numbers just to see where this XP differential is coming from. 3,000 of it is in just minions, and that is almost the entirety of it. A small bit in heroes, actually have a disparity in mercenaries, but really just soaking out these lanes better than their opponents is gotten them almost a full level lead.
Yeah, very important as mentioned there, because level 13's again right here for Match Ready. Might not end up making the timing difference for this upcoming objective, but nonetheless, always have to play to your advantages, as now Phoenix Rising Xanthite is going to spend a little bit extra time trying to soak out that level 13, might not be able to get quite the position they want onto this objective.
Yeah, but with their opponents taking that Bruiser camp, it'll allow Phoenix Rising Xanthite to get in that position where it's easier to defend your opponents trying to push into a position most of the time than it is to just walk into a position where your opponents are already entrenched. Especially if they've got that slowing sands down, that's a huge amount of scouting and zone control coming out from that heroic. It'll make it a little bit harder for the members of Match Ready to come in here, but come on in here if they are looking to do is Idiom is actually relatively low.
Yep, they don't see the Maiev. They do see the Maiev now in that bottom bush, so not going to be surprised by any kind of Shade of Vengeance from below. Maiev multiple resets now, is going to have to pop the Vault of the Wardens to go ahead and dodge some damage, but yeah, watching the... I mean, the Maiev is the main engage condition here for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, as Tyrael has not opted for the Judgment. So that is really when the fight begins, unless of course, Match Ready goes ahead and dives, either with the Leap or the Anubarak Burrow.
Phoenix Rising Xanthite have actually split Chromie out to go back and tap well. Not going to be able to find an engage condition during that time, but it meant that they had to use a bunch of different buttons to actually get the interrupts here, as Chromie is their main interrupt with these long engages. Grace is going to get engaged upon, does get the intercession, and the Cocoon comes out onto Lucio. This is Match Ready's time to try and find a team fight. They're finding some good damage, but they haven't found a kill yet, and Lucio is out. The Sanctification comes out as well. D.Va did get demech. That is not the damage that they're looking for, and huge blow-up coming out of the Sonya.
Yeah, Cold Fashion now pulled back in. Hiva and Idioms are the DPS core of PRX are so low, but so are everybody for Match Ready. As a miracle, they are not all completely dead. They do have to lick their wounds and lose 2 during this objective phase, or to start this objective phase, but that could have been a lot worse, I think.
Yeah. For which team, though?
It could have been a lot worse
Ready?
for Match Ready. I mean, they could have lost 2 more heroes. But, I mean, also they could... Hello. Subtitles. They could have also just lost their DPS core, so nice job on the Chromie and the Maiev staying alive through the whole thing, so... Yeah, now bottom fort basically going to be picked up for free here as Match Ready opt for defending the remainder of the 2 upper forts, and... You know, all being said, not a whole lot occurring during this phase so far.
Yeah, and I don't know that, unlike a lot of maps, I don't know that there is a best lane to get damage in. Every lane has one camp that'll push into it, no matter where you are, or no matter which team you're on or anything like that. So getting the bot lane, more or less about as good as getting top lane. Probably bot and top are better than mid, just because they're farther away, and therefore harder to defend, but there's no bosses on this lane. There's no huge... game-winning condition outside of actually the Garden Terrors themselves that can really help you to further your own position.
Yeah, that is definitely agree with that assessment. Now that the Garden Terror phase is over, both teams just going to go back and start doing camps because it is Garden of Terror, and you know, seems good to me.
Yeah, camp meta pretty big on these large maps that have a total of 6 regular camps on them. It's the same number as Cursed Hollow, but you know, siege camps, berserk camps are way easier to take than bosses. So you tend to see camps taken very often and very quickly on this map, in between the objective phases during the landing phase. We do have an engagement coming out on the top lane. Joshua Scott does get engaged upon, actually is going to try and make a defense here, as we have all 10 heroes coming in here to try and make a defense. D.Va bombed immediately. Actually didn't even go off, it was just a small baby D.Va kill, but a massive chomp coming out from Orphea is going to find that kill out of the Maiev. Their main engage condition, like you said, so they really have to engage for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, as they really don't have any way to try and force a team fight right now.
God, that was such a good tether into cage as well. I mean, all 5 members of Match Ready were just stuck in the middle of it. But as you mentioned, Cold Fashion able to get the chomp and reduce Maiev's damage to 0 by you know, killing her. But Chromie
good mythical
unable to.
spear coming out to save Grace in the top lane.
Yeah, that was a pretty good opportunity for Phoenix Rising Xanthite to try and make something happen. And I think something very interesting about both these teams is how they try and make single picks happen. Even when down 4v5, they're trying to find a 4v1 and make it happen, which I think has been that's a sign of a strong team trying to find their advantages where they can get them. But nonetheless, Match Ready defends that nice, or doesn't get ganked nicely, and now it's their turn to try and make something happen with this Garden Terror phase.
Yeah, that's a really important thing that I think that you said. You might have only 4 heroes on the map versus your opponent's 5, but if only 1 or 2 of your opponent's heroes are actually involved in a team fight, that doesn't matter so much. That's why you see them trying to find these picks, even when they're down overall in heroes.
Yeah, definitely. Mid fort is forced down quickly by Match Ready. Top fort is going to go down as well, as is undefended at the current moment. And now the fight will be focused into the mid lane here. Zanubrak burrows through, but doesn't deny any kind of engage here. And middle terror now cleaned up as we shift focus up to the top lane.
Yeah, we do have all 3 forts going down for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. The Web Weaver up here, or the Garden Terror rather, only at half health left, and it doesn't provide almost anything in these team fights. Like, really no one at this level should be getting hit by raw Garden Terror stuns. That's why you don't see them trying to fight under these like you do some other objectives that are more impactful in the actual team fights, which is why Match Ready, they take their win, they back off all the way to their side of the map where they have a camp coming out right now.
Yep, and it's back to camps. About a half-level lead here for Match Ready as they're going to try and make it to level 20 first. However, these very pushed-up waves are going to make it difficult for them to soak out as efficiently as Phoenix Rising Xanthite. So instead, they might be looking for a hard engage here, but not going to find it as the Chromie Vision was just enough to stall out on time and prevent that from happening.
Yeah, both teams just kind of sharking around, seeing if they can find their opponents out of position. They don't want to force a pick, but if they find a pick, they'll happily take it. But at the same time, both teams are playing well enough defensively that they're not overextending. They're not taking those ill-advised rotations that just bring you to the wrong side of the map. But with the rotational advantage that Match Ready have, they're looking to maybe invade on their opponent's camp. They do start it, but Phoenix Rising Xanthite is hot on their heels, and we could definitely see another fight going out over this camp.
Yep, Joshua Scott goes ahead and boosters in, drops the Diva Bomb immediately. Tyrael is wrapped, and the Eternal Feast was placed as well. So 2 ults used by Match Ready, 0 ults used by Phoenix Rising Xanthite, although the Diva Bomb is, for all intents and purposes, an ult in terms of the value it provides with the ability to give Diva a second health bar.
Yeah, it's been a while since I mentioned them. We've got a couple of talents. We actually have the Lashing Out, which reduces the E cooldown if the second hit of it actually lands, as well as the Radiance. I was really expecting to see the 2 Subjugation talents getting picked up to reduce that damage on the Mayav engages, but opting not to go for that instead. Speaking of not going for things, Match Ready not even attempting to poke this objective out, really just looking to hit 20, even though their opponents will be hitting 20 more or less the same time. But instead looking to just clear the minion waves and try to keep their lanes pushed out as far as they can.
Yeah, both teams just kind of playing for that level 20, and Chromie does have her level 20 ahead of that, so I can definitely see the disengage by Match Ready being the good cause, because Piercing Sands is one heck of an upgrade for an already very powerful ability.
Alright, we got the level 20s. Once again, with the Summer Anthem on the Lucio, we have Holy Arena and a Blade of Armor, which I think is the first time we're seeing this series. As well as the Shadow Orb Huntress from the Mayav, giving her that increased movement speed and attack speed on level 20. Mayav not known for her super impactful level 20 upgrades, as all of them are just active abilities as opposed to upgrades to heroics.
Ooh, Teal walks into a bush. He is invited to the party, but no major CC is actually used, so instead just affords Phoenix Rising Xanthite some space to try and be able to channel this objective. Teal goes in with the Impale and does not reach, is instead going to dive in. Hiva is the dive target, but pulls everybody into the Ariat Crater where Chromie is taking a nap. Diva's already taken out. Holy Arena used by Tyrael, but now everybody is clumped up, and Phoenix Rising Xanthite is on the run, down a player and down in health bars, but they will be able to mostly escape.
Big shout out there to Judgment Day, getting pulls on multiple heroes, keeping them in that area longer, not just for its own damage, but for the damage that the rest of the team is able to deal, and just putting out, very likely kept Diva from actually getting out of there.
I assume that's just one of your little miniature crashes, and you'll be back shortly.
Heroes of the Storm is in fact crashing for me. Click on that wait for program to respond, and you're going to have to carry the cast more or less until I say so.
Sounds great. No problems here, as top keep was looked at and poked at, but Chromie's really good. Hive actually looking to make an engage onto the Greymane, but I think either didn't pop the W, or more likely got the auto attack burned at some point. So does not end up getting the tether. That would have been a very big pick, and I definitely agree on the decision to go in. But instead, Match Ready going to run down here and work on taking this seed, which they will uncontestedly. Is that a word? And Phoenix Rising Xanthite going to go ahead and opt for priority on their camps. So, with level 21s online for both teams, we take a look at our position here. 2 camps picked up for PRX, 1 picked up for Match Ready, and they will almost certainly grab this other camp, Bruisers, both available soon, but the ones for Phoenix Rising Xanthite sooner, as the objective really going to be the focus of these 2 teams right here, and Phoenix Rising Xanthite going to be able to start setting up on it a little bit sooner.
They are, but it's also on their prerogative whether they even want to fight over this. Clearly, they have stated their intentions with that slowing Sands area getting put down. They want to take this fight as they already have 2 objectives. Their opponents only have 1. Looks like they might actually just give this. Never mind. They do decide to go and engage, but I don't know. They're actually kind of wishy-washy. They have Teal in here in position to try and make the defense here. They actually go in pretty aggressively now, but they wanted to have time to clear that siege camp in top lane first. But now that all of the minions are dead, they are looking to just find a good position. Both teams just jockeying back and forth, not letting their opponent's channel, but at the same time trying to find their own start to an engagement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting nervous watching this because any mistake could be the last made in this series. So really tense moment here as both teams jockeying around for position. Diva locked in a cocoon. Ooh, Eric Crater from the leap misses. Maiev goes in with the cage and the tether. Sanctification goes off, and the bomb goes off, killing Orphea and Greymane instantly. Now Hiva going in with the Fan of Knife resets. Incredible play there. Nubrak taken out. Grace not going to escape as well. Iron running with the reverse amp speed boost to chase down the immobile Whitemane, and that is 5 kills for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Ectar, we might be going to Game 5 with these Garden Terrors.
Game 5 hype!
They are pushed back,
Garden
though.
Terrors, not the best at sieging, especially because they spawn all the way where your opponent's minions are. This bottom one is going to get taken out mostly by just catapults and siege giants, but the rest of the team's like, we don't need you, Garden Terror. We're just going to go in here and take this bottom keep, maybe try to end the game off of it. Joshua Scott taking actually quite a bit of damage. He gets demeched by just the keep and a catapult minion, but they're encore. And there's 10 seconds to leave, and Orphea comes back up. And Ace, we have ourselves a game number 5. I'm excited.
I couldn't be more excited right now. Swift Retribution from Tyrael paying off in spades, allowing the auto attack DPS of Joshua Scott and Hiva to come through and move us to game number 5.
So here's where I complete the prediction and spoil the ending 30 seconds of the game, right?
Oh. I mean...
Oh, man.
You could.
Once again, Lucio, first pick priority, wins games.
There you go.
There's
So
a
it was a
trend.
Lucio, not the Cassia. I see.
It could still be both.
It could be both. It could be both. Oh, man. There are some PRX fans that are cheering about that one in the chat, and I agree. That was an incredible combo there. You're able to see the Maiev get the pulls into the Diva Bomb combo, and that is just so powerful. And yeah, I mean, not much more to be said there. Great job from Phoenix Rising Xanthite. When their backs were against the wall, they made it work. So nice job there. And now both teams pick your map and your draft very carefully. Gravesville, thank you for the raid. We've got a Game 5 on our hands here in our Division A Grand Finals.
So Ace, I know because I can do the most basics of maths. There are 2 maps remaining that could be chosen. Dang it, idioms. I was going to ask what Ace thought we were going to have for the last match, but you posted the lobby link too fast.
You know what? If you gave me an option between Volskaya and Braxis, I would have said Volskaya just on popularity alone.
On popularity alone is totally fair. if Match Ready had a had map choice for some reason, I think they might actually opt to go with Braxis, just because it is more fighting, and that is the thing that they're very, very good at.
That is true. That is
Not that their
very
macro is
true.
bad by any means, but they win games off of the back of the fights that they win, which, to be fair, that's most of the time in Heroes of the Storm. But I think it's slightly more their shtick than anything else.
Yep, absolutely. By the way, everybody, make sure stay hydrated. Get up, take a bit of a stretch while we wait in between these games. Series has already been going on for 2 hours and 20 minutes, and the casters also like to get up and move around just a little bit. So I'll stick right here, but go ahead and move around, get some water just a little bit, and it seems like some of the members of PRX are doing the same.
Yep, can't argue with that decision. Got to stay hydrated, keep your brain engaged. I'm glad that this went to Game 5, and I'm glad that it's as back and forth as it is.
Yeah, if there was a set, I would have said that would go to 5 games. Like, we've casted 2 best-of-5 playoff series, and they both went the distance. This is the one I would have guessed would go the distance, though. These are 2 well-matched teams. They weren't overpowering their division. They've worked through a lot of, ups and downs. I mean, neither of these teams have flawless records by any means. So, really, a really exciting display of amateur Heroes of the Storm play. These are your a lot of Diamond and Master players here in Div A. So, not peak pro content, but, a lot of people can relate to this, and it feels really nice to be able to watch these.
Good enough to carry my heavy ass in Storm League is a lot of these players, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, first pick so far, 4 for 4, as you see the little checkerboard pattern across this. Do we get the 5th one, or are we going to get what I would call the break point here for Phoenix Rising Xanthite? So, all will be told in the next half hour.
I would really like it if Match Ready won, purely so we could have the perfect synergy.
Yeah.
On that map pick screen that we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is
It'd be very satisfying to look at.
Indeed. So, yeah, teams are ready. Oh, never mind. We have somebody BRBing 2 minutes. So, yeah, go ahead. Again, just unexpected bio. Better unexpected now than once you get in game.
I both really want to know what that means, but I also really don't want to know what that means.
Don't worry, his pants are okay. Well, I'm going to assume that meant they thought they were fine, and then, hold up a second. But,
yeah, a little bit of that IBS coming in. It's a tense series, I understand.
Mm-hmm. That is, very true. So, chat, what would you like to see out of this game? Game 5. Make sure to root for your teams, cheer them on. As a team who's played in here for so many seasons, I love being able to look back and see all the fans in chat rooting for whoever they are. So make sure to show your support, give them your energy for this game number 5 in our Div A Grand Finals here. And couldn't ask for a much better series.
You know what I'd like to see?
What would you like to see, Ectar?
Ever happen? I would like both teams to have a gentleman's agreement, no hero bans, just go in full both
gas.
teams full powered, gas all the way. But teams want to win, and banning out your opponent's really good or really popular picks is a strong way to do that. So I don't expect to see anything of the sort here, but I do like the idea of seeing both teams playing at their peaks.
Speaking of bans, do you think we're going to see a change? Lucio has been first pick 4 games in a row. Cassia has existed in 3 of them. Mayav now made an appearance into this series. Is that going to be a pick deny? Are we going to see Orphea again? Are we going to see some other heroes being picked up? Do the teams go standard? Do the teams go something kind of off the wall? I'm mainly curious about the bans, though, in the first couple picks.
Yeah, we had, I think for the first time, the Orphea getting picked up, and it lost. So I don't know, but obviously it's still a hero that they feel very comfortable on. So I wouldn't read too much into that, but that is like maybe the closest to a match-ready comp as they have gotten this series with their hero comps. Obviously their preferred tanks getting banned out, but it says something that their preferred damage-dealing mage got let through, and they lost. So maybe they don't want to pick that up in this game number 5. However, I think Orphea is actually much stronger on this map than the previous one, so...
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have to deal with the camp-taking chores nearly as much. So.
And I think that the team fight objective areas are dimensioned more favorably for her as well.
Yeah, I could agree with that to an extent. Especially the objective themselves. If you move off the objective, you do have a lot of open space, which I don't think Orphea does particularly amazingly in, but
if they're able to get in first, just those like sort of peg-shaped walls that cordon off the entry points of the objective make it really easy for her to land her Q hits and her damage combos.
All right, so we do
have a change.
Yeah, we do have the deviation with the Deathwing being banned out here. So I assume there's some scouting into that. So let's go pull up this good old hero's profile again and see what's been done on Volskaya for these teams.
So are you going to get Phoenix Rising Xanthite then?
I have them both up, but I don't see any data for PRX on this map.
Ooh.
No data found. Now that is ominous.
I like the Deathwing ban anyway. I think he's really strong in this map.
Yes.
Just in general, and if you end up going Mage Deathwing, he can really stop a lot of the engage type comps that Match Ready have shown a proclivity to play.
Oh, this is my jam.
5.
Match Ready going in with the 100% win rate Lucio in this series, so really looking to finish out that checkerboard pattern.
Yeah, first pick, 100% Lucio as well. That's one of the most significant statistics is how Lucio's made it through. Even without his level 20 ban, we've got Mayav and Tyrael again, so already Phoenix Rising Xanthite showing that they want to do something in a similar vein, maybe not the exact same, obviously, but in a similar vein to last game. And it worked for him.
For the Nexus.
We do still have the Orphea getting picked up here. Again, not terribly surprised, but just showing that they are, in fact, confident on the style that they've played so many times before. That just because it didn't work once doesn't mean they're not willing to draft it again. And, I mean, this draft looks very similar to the previous one, and outside the very late game teamfights, I think that it looked really good for them for a large portion of the game.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that, so I'll have a lot to add to that. I definitely agree. Sonya, always impactful, well-rounded at everything, so seems good. Zeratul banned out. I don't know if Match Ready plays Zeratul.
They definitely play Zeratul. I remember seeing that a little bit earlier when I was doing my scouting for an earlier map.
Okie dokie then.
They have played him 3 times.
Versus Menaval, versus Nature's Cure, and versus Boosted Bonobos. Once on this map, I think was the Menaval game, so seems good. I mean, Leap is an automatic follow-up to Void Prison, so a good hero to take out of Sugar Bear's hands, and Cassia still remains available.
Man, Match Ready have played a lot of Malthael on this map in particular.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like they're probably going to be doing that here for obvious reasons. But but they have found a lot of success with it. Actually, the Hogger getting through for the first time this series was banned out previously. I think every game before this one, instead opting for the Deathwing and Diva bans. So Joshua Scott finally going to get on that Hogger, and we'll see if there was a really good reason that he was banned out for the 4 previous games.
Yeah, a lot of people have speculated that Hogger took a significant amount of nerfs in the most recent patch, and that his PV is not nearly as good. My goodness, we got a fast White Mane again. So White Mane putting on a strong show here at the latter half of the series. But yeah, Hogger, we'll have to see how the nerfs affect him. So, ooh, these are drafts, though. I mean,
they sure are.
They sure are, Ectar. But look, Muradin, Cassia, Lucio. Those have been staples of Match Ready's plans, game 1 and 3. Common features, they won those games. So,
they sure have.
I mean,
Hogger has taken about a 4% drop in win rate between the last patch and this one. Granted, we've only been on this patch for, 4 days? But that's still pretty significant.
Yeah, it definitely indicates that something is most likely different, but you can't say for certain.
You can't. And that is 512 Hogger games on this patch, so it's not insignificant either.
Yeah. All right, for the final time this evening, get comfy with us, get excited. This is game number 5 on your Div A Grand Finals. On the left side of the map, in the blue trunks, we have Phoenix Rising Xanthite with the Lazy Hydra on Tyrael, Joshua Scott on the Hogchamp, Hiva on Maev, Idioms on Chromie, and Iron on the White Mane.
And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, looking to prove that the statistics on Lucio and Cassia are true for this series. To close out that game number 5, they are match ready with Teal playing the Muradin, Grace is playing Sonya, Cold Fashioned on the Orpheus, Sugar Bear on the Cassia, and Paperwall on the Lucio. We got a cruel chain game.
Oh, we do have Bonds of Justice stacks. I love it, and I agree with the talent choice. The Nisha's Memento not nearly as important there, but already you see Hiva going in more aggressively, trying to build up those stacks, tethering the minion, and then grabbing that extra ding, so stacking that up. At least getting the one from the early fight, as well as the Cassia Q stack and the Muradin Stormbolt stack that Teal has been stacking up oh so well throughout this series.
Yeah, checking out the level 1 talents, we do have Iron going into what I consider the more standard of the level 1 talents on the Pity the Frail, giving your E cooldown reduction for your W on every hit, instead of the stacking talent like we saw in the previous game. Otherwise, I think we have pretty standard picks all across the board. We've seen Accelerando most of the time. It is neither the highest win rate nor the most popular talent. Those going to smooth moves and party mix respectively, but it has been, I believe, every Lucio talent pick level 1 this series.
I believe you are correct. Yep, while Hogger is camping it up in the top, or in the upper portion of the map, Hiva and Grace doing a ceremonial mount dance here in the bottom lane as they freeze the lane. And Teal going to take a little bit of bonus damage due to the armor cut on Time Trap that Idioms has opted into.
Yeah, we did have a little bit of sort of posturing around the heel camp, but neither Idioms nor Iron really looking to make it into a serious engage because there were too many match ready members around, just kind of forcing their opponents to respect that they could take it, but weren't really ever going to commit to it unless they found some really significant advantage somewhere.
Yeah, definitely the way that things do be. So, first objective, coming out fairly uneventfully so far, as the siege camps are going to be taken out here in the top. Again, that sledgehammer from Muradin on level 4, really effective at the PvE action, just slamming these siege camps and letting him take them out quite quickly.
Speaking of slamming, we do have the return of Slam on 1 and 4 coming out from Grace this time, not opting for the Whirlwind, as there are, I would say, even fewer slows annual roots coming out from Phoenix Rising Xanthite this time, although Chromie is a big exception to that. Hiva looking to try and get a stack on Paper Wall, and Teal not going to find it after that Stormbolt engage. We do have the early channel going over to Phoenix Rising Xanthite, but this is an opportunity for Match Ready to try and take this heal camp, though it is going to be contested, it looks like.
Yep, good use of the Time Walker's Pursuit to be able to make that happen. Now Maiev coming in after, not after the button's been taken. Tyrael is able to get onto point. Teal forced out at sub 500 health, but the Lazy Hydra takes too much damage in the off lane. Not able to arrive in time for either team, so Match Ready actually goes ahead and grabs the heal camp, and doesn't even have to give up a whole lot of positioning on this objective either, as they've only given up 27% so far.
They didn't give a lot of objective, but they did give up a turret, so they are going to be... They did trade an item for item. Of course, the heal camp is the better of the two items, but they didn't get away from it without trading anything for it.
Yeah, very good observation there, although they will be able to recover their turret-based losses here if they choose to, which it seems like they do. But again, Phoenix Rising Xanthite also able to take this quite quickly with the Hogger, whose PvE damage was significantly nerfed, but still remains quite strong. Although the invade seems to be coming out here from Match Ready.
I like this a lot because I saw Tyrael still on the point. Only Joshua Scott was here, and Hoggers often will end up using that E, which is their only escape to take this using the siege damage on it. So he is going to fall. Iron is going to get booped back by Paper Wall and is going to fall as well. Did once again give up a turret-based advantage to acquire another turret-based advantage, but in this time trading 2 kills for it as well. But there will be plenty of time for Phoenix Rising Xanthite to make a recontest. However, they will likely be down that very critical level 10. So I don't know how much of a recontest they're actually going to try and make.
Yeah, also Match Ready did have to burn their heal camp during that as well. They invested that to get the kill, but I mean, it's going to grant them a Triglav Protector. Because they picked up these level 10s, we've got the Valkyrie again. One of the biggest playmaking ults of this entire series, as well as the Avatar, High Five, and the Leap, all standard across the board, and probably the Eternal Feast from Orphea. I think,
Nope.
Nope, okay. I was going to say Cold Fashion takes that ability more than most, but not the case here.
Yeah, we did have Tyrael just stepping in a little bit, seeing if they can stall for a short period of time, but decides that they do not want to do that. They're actually going to take the Triglav into the bottom lane and set up for the third objective. They do have Sonya in the top lane so that they can try and get that damage there. I think this might actually be a really smart play. Because they have that camp going once again. They have the Sonya up there. Augur won't be able to stop that from happening, so the Triglav is just looking for the damage it can get in mid and bottom, while Sonya gets the damage that they need in top.
Yeah, I like this play a lot. I'm going to go ahead and continue to stack onto the Triglav, and the well does go down to the top, so the standard Triglav function has been completed. And there goes the rocket-powered fist to try and get something. But
yeah, so they actually set up for their third objective as well. They're running all over the map, and you know, they don't have anyone that can chase especially well. Like, Maiev can do autos, which are fine, but her actual single target damage over a large health pool like this isn't very good. Neither is Tyrael's. Chromie can't really chase effectively, and because of that, they're just getting value all around the map. They're almost going to get all of mid-fort, which is way more than you expect out of the first objective. They've gotten all of the wells on the frontal buildings, and I think they're in a great position to continue their momentum in this game.
yeah, they really do have an opportunity. Almost took out the entire mid-fort there was Match Ready as well. So they really could have taken a big advantage, and instead do not get that. Also, Hiva went in for the engage, but dropped the auto attack before popping the W, which the Humble Bind, which prevented the engage. But that would have been a pretty sweet engage to find. So,
speaking of taking advantages, though, Phoenix Rising Xanthite had no position on the map other than that I'm pretty sure they saw their opponents heading towards their turret camp and ripped a heal camp in that time. So definitely trading up in items there, but they are, you know, I would say for the first, this is the furthest they've been behind in XP for either team, more or less this whole series.
yeah, generally in a 5-game series, you will see just like one big blowout game where a team gets a 2-3 level advantage. I mean, there has been no game where a team has been out more than basically a level. These teams have been so evenly matched. I could not have asked for more for this Dive Grand Finals.
But this could just be showing the comfortability on this map. You mentioned that Phoenix Rising Xanthite, no games played on this map, whereas Match Ready has played 8 in their NGS season alone. So just possibly a lot more comfortable playing this map out over the long ways, which is why we see them rotating so confidently, so aggressively invading on their opponents with the smallest advantage. And that's gotten them, it's down to a full level lead at this point, but that's more of an advantage than we've seen at most phases in this entire best of 5.
Yeah, and it came down to, I mean, Phoenix Rising Xanthite had to pick the map, and there are only 2 options remaining in this pool, so they definitely had to take well, we don't want Braxis, so I guess we'll do Volskaya, but it may be, but they're just not as comfortable on this map.
Both teams kind of sharking around in this mid-top area. There's nothing to fight over, but both teams looking to see if they can get a fight. They find an engage on the Sugar Bear, but a nice Unstoppable coming up from the Lucio is going to get him past that Warden's Cage. The Crushing Jaws come in as they attempt to re-engage. The huge leap off of the Valkyrie. All these raw Valkyries just finding incredible value in this game, and that is going to be a 1-for-0. We do have the Scarlet Aegis coming out, is allowing the heroes of Phoenix Rising Xanthite to walk away with that 40 armor, but a really nice counter engage coming out, and that should very likely be this top fort going down as well. 2 forts to nothing in favor of Match Ready if they're able to take it here.
Yeah, and with the Sledgehammer, they almost certainly can at least poke it down over time, but I mean, Phoenix Rising Xanthite doing a good job controlling space with the Slowing Sands and with Chromie, such a powerful defensive hero, but with her leaving now, it will just open the path to a free top fort here. Not free, but a captured top fort.
Heavily discounted.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it took them a fight. They wanted off the fight, so it wasn't just free, but it's game 5.
Yeah, so they only have Lucio on the point, which means Joshua Scott's going to look to try and get engaged here, but they see 3 members of the enemy team are already taking this camp. Joshua Scott is going to get here in time to get the interrupt. We have the Shockwave coming out. The camp does get dropped and then picked up by the members of Match Ready. Hogger is trying to do what he can to get on out of here, but he is way too deep and is going to get taken out here. There is an even number of members from Phoenix Rising Xanthite right up until Paper Wall gets in and uses the amp it up to try and speed the rest of the team in to try and continue this engage. Slowing Sands might be enough of a disengage, but Paper Wall with that reverse amp is just going to keep people engaging, and they do find another kill out onto the white main here. A little bit of a wishful thinking, kind of a Crushing Jaws there, but why not? They're not going to need it for the next 70 seconds or so, as they should be able to finish out the free objective here, as well as picking up this heal camp.
Yep. What is this? Channeling now? So yeah, white main will be up about 95-96% on this objective, so it is almost certainly going to go in favor of Match Ready. Now a full level and a half, maybe even some more if you want to count pixels, advantage here for Match Ready, and they do seem to be at their largest advantage of this series. So Match Ready has increased in power on this map as they're going to take this Triglav into the top lane and start ramming down this top keep wall.
Yeah, they already have what you would normally expect to try and get off of this objective, which is that bottom well. So they say, why not try to get a keep instead, as they're just going to put tons of damage in here. Chromie actually time-stepping that. That's a little bit funny. But, yeah, we have Hogger in the mid lane, so there's not even a 5-person defense here. Chromie is providing a lot of assistance with this zone control and the Slowing Sands. And Lazy Hydra looking to try and find something, but they have the sanctification, so they can't try to find a hard engage. They need the Maya, they need the Hogger with that Shockwave to try and find something. But Match Ready playing really far back. They get the front wall, but they don't actually over-commit to this engage. They might try to get the bottom as well, but yeah, looks like they're going to rotate down into the bottom to try and finish off that fort and just use the Triglav to poke out the enemy team and try to find a nice position and not try to over-force anything.
Yep, level 16's online now for both teams. We've got the Dwarf launch again from Muradin. And as mentioned at level 1, Cruel Chain from Maiev. So really ups the damage power of Maiev. One of the most impactful talents on her tree. So going to see if that, along with the Chromie level 18s impending soon, could be what Phoenix Rising Xanthite need to get back into this.
Yeah, and we're seeing Phoenix Rising Xanthite continue to play relatively defensive. They're down 2 levels, so they don't want to invade, but at the same time, it's very likely they're not going to have 20 in time for the next objective, where their opponents likely can. So they, I think, need to try and find something between now and then, which they might need to force something to happen, because I don't know that they're going to find a more favorable fight during the next objective, so they should probably try to find something before that happens.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, level 19 now, very close for match ready, but it's up in the air as if they'll be able to soak out something like a level 20 before that happens. Kasi going to go ahead, use that War Traveler instant mount to go ahead, play a little farther forward, but also be able to escape easily as necessary. So, and no bottom fort taken out yet, but again, match ready is just not giving Phoenix Rising Xanthite a fight.
They're playing very confident right now. They don't have that much map control, but they're playing with a lot of confidence. Like, yes, they've taken 2 of their opponents' 3 forts, but they're only up 2 levels and no talent tiers in advantage. They don't actually have a huge advantage, but they're just playing very forward. They're looking for these aggressive picks, and they're going to trade out a heal camp for a bottom fort, and I think that's a pretty fine trade for them to take, considering they're going to be up level 20 during this next objective phase.
That's a really smart decision, I think, from PRX. They know that at level 19.5, match ready is not wanting to look for a fight. So being able to just rip that heal camp while putting the slowing sands down to zone out space is really a shrewd call, I would say, just because it's not really the decision a lot of teams would make, playing from a level deficit.
They're playing from a level deficit, but they also know that that match ready shouldn't want to fight until they have 20. They don't want to take an even fight. They want to take an advantageous one. So they were forcing, at best, an even fight. So I think that's a really smart decision from them to rip that heal camp.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Their opponents actually still have a heal camp from earlier in the game that they haven't used.
Yep, and level 20s are online. Ariat Crater, again, along with the Imprisoning Light from... Ooh, goes for the rewind. Nope. Imprisoning Light from the Kase has been an MVP game winner on Alterac Pass. We've got the standard Dread Conduit, I believe. Eldritch Conduit. Can't say that correctly. Rewind and House Party again. So, again, if you haven't been around or aren't familiar, Mixing Fire is super banned in NGS because it reduces a cooldown by an additional 40% to 6 seconds, and it's kind of disgusting.
It is busted. I like to see this 5-man engage here. If they had one person go to the objective, which they have split out now, Paper Wall is going to start the channel in there. But if they had 4 people on there, maybe Phoenix Rising Xanthite could have tried to make that a down level 20 but 5 versus 4 fight. And Match Ready doesn't want to give them an advantageous fight in any regards. They're going to play very safe. They're going to take their opponent's camp. They're going to split one out when taking their own camp because it's safe. They have the buildings and the well to defend with there. But now I just have to wonder on both teams, what is the play? Phoenix Rising Xanthite are getting level 20. That part is obvious. Match Ready are actually taking a camp. I think this is maybe even too aggressive, as this could allow an opportunity for Phoenix Rising Xanthite to find something, but I fully expect if they see anybody show up to hard disengage until the rest of their team gets here.
Yep, and they do have the little beeping of the objective contest to be able to know when they can, how much they can push their luck as you wish. And it's an Accelerando Lucio. The only thing that can pin him down is a blind Shockwave or a blind Tether from Mayav. So really not a lot of too punishing abilities that could come out.
Yes, and I like what they did with that, with actually pushing out the lanes of their camp. It means that the longer this fight goes, the better it is for them, because they have that that continuous beat of catapult pressure every third wave. They've got the camp pushing as well. So top keep is under threat. We have Murden coming in, finding a nice engage onto Joshua Scott, but not going to find too much because he is able to hog wild on out of there. But yeah, the longer this goes, even if they aren't able to end off this, and it is an objective that often will end the game, but even if they don't find an end, they have an advantage.
Valkyrie misses, but the leap does go down. Sanctification is out along with the Cade. Grace, Sugar Bear, Teal all in a really tough spot. Grace is first to go down. Sugar Bear is going to be the second to go down. These are the first kills of the game for Phoenix Rising Xanthite post 20, but they got the fight they want. Teal's going to do some trickery to try and escape. Does start regenerating health. Hiva going to try and defend that top keep, but it is in vain. That is a dead keep, but it does have to go and be responded to from the core, and now Teal, Cold Fashion, and Paper Wall trying to press the issue even more in top, but they see the Maya backed, and I don't think they can make any shenanigans occur unless they find a Stormbolt.
I believe Hiva already used their E as well, so they don't have that escape option on. It is up now, and Hiva's doing a really good job trying to make something cute happen by throwing the shade out in one direction, walking in another, but they are going to get taken out. This could be one of those times where you have not a huge advantage, but trying to make an end. They actually have a disadvantage as they have 2 heroes dead, but what they're doing right now is not trying to end. They're trying to force their opponents to respect them and back. They have everyone back. Only Tyrael is pushing in the Triglav, which allows time for their Sonya to come back and allows time for the Cassia to come back so they can maybe even defend this bottom keep. They lost a fort, but who cares at this point in the game? They're not actually going to lose the keep, I don't think. So a really good, aggressive defense coming out from Match Ready. Very smart play by them.
Match Ready is playing this map so well. It is kind of disgusting that I mean, Ectar, they lost a fight cleanly, and they took a keep and lost only a fort for it. Like, that's
fair,
and a kill.
That was what they did with the camp.
Yeah, crap's incredible. Here comes the Valkyrie onto the white main, and that is a dead white main. Match Ready keeps making it happen, and at
least that one wasn't a raw Valkyrie. It was a good setup from the Muradin. But they found one kill. I don't think they're looking to end. They're looking to try to either find another kill or rip this keep, but they're definitely looking for another kill. If they find a second kill, they definitely go for game. But it's hard. It's going to be hard to find that into the defensive setup that Phoenix Rising Xanthite have. It's very hard to push into Chromie, Tyrael, Hogger, Maya. All of these heroes are hard to push into. So I like that they're taking the camps. I like that they're still looking for things, but I don't think they're going to find anything super aggressive. I'd like to see them just go take items.
Yeah, that is what Match Ready are going to do, is they're going to run around the map and collect their favorite toys. Now that the winter event has ended here in late May, they have just run out of all the Christmas toys and need to pick up stuff around the map.
Yeah, and they're going to, of course, with the mana advantage, take their opponents as well as the neutral heal camp. This will set them up very nicely for that last objective, but you know what? If they... I don't want to say they botched that engagement, but they made a hard engage onto a Tyrael with Sanctification.
Yeah, you gotta find a way to bait that out, but again, when... I guess if you can force it with a Stormbolt and then don't commit a leap to it, then you can bait it out, but... I mean, Sanctification plus Warden's Cage has been a winning combo for Phoenix Rising Xanthite multiple times, especially last game. So, I mean, they just... Match Ready has been in control of this game, but they do have to be careful that the team fight of Phoenix Rising Xanthite is at max power, but again, Valkyrie's also at max power, and that's pretty good.
It sure is, and this is my favorite way to see teams play Heroes of the Storm. It's not flashy, it's not showy, but it's going to be difficult for the members of Phoenix Rising Xanthite to end the game unless they get a full team wipe. So Match Ready, not going to give it to them. They're going to rotate around as 5, clear the lanes, keep pressure, and then whenever a camp comes up, they're just going to paint it red.
Yeah, I mean, you can see they've got a pair of turrets and a heal camp versus nothing for PRX. So, I mean, you can have a good team fight, but that could be a disparity that creates a victory condition for Match Ready, as they're going to go ahead and slam down that bottom keep wall now, and just taking a little bit of siege damage every time Phoenix Rising Xanthite has to go respond around the map. And now the fabled 4th objective spawns on the map, and this is a game-ending objective in so many scenarios.
Because they have all of their keeps and most of their forts remaining, they really can just snowball as 5, and every once in a while, someone from Phoenix Rising Xanthite has to respond to the catapult pressure, especially built up in top lane. So they're gonna have to send someone back so they don't start losing core health. The longer any team fight goes on, the better it is for match ready. Because they have all of this map pressure, so they can snowball as 5, their opponents have to split back, and that's when match ready are gonna try and strike. Phoenix Rising Xanthite have decided this is the time that they want to try and make engagement happen. They have the Mayav comes in with the Warden's Cage, but they have the big disengage coming out. The Sanctification comes down. Doesn't find as much value as it did in the previous game, but Teal is going to get blown up. Actually gets taken up by the White Mane of all people. And this is what Phoenix Rising Xanthite needed. They get 1 pick. That's enough for them to stay in the game right now. They can keep the Tyrael on point. They maybe even keep several people on point. Actually, match ready are going to go invade on their opponent's camp. This is so aggressive, but I like it. It's going to force Phoenix Rising Xanthite to either take an even fight, lose a camp, or get off the objective.
God, this is something that take note. Like, I'm learning as I am watching this. Match ready are putting on a macro clinic. Here comes the engage. Here's the Eric Crater from the Sonya. Lazy Hydra does get the bonus armor from the time trap, but Joshua Scott goes down on the Hogger. Now Sugar Bear in a bunch of trouble, though. Gets the high 5 unstoppable, so breaks the tether. Takes a bunch of damage for it, but that does not get them pulled back. So
and
now
they've got catapults on keep with a camp on keep, or on core rather. So they're going to start losing core shielding. They have to send someone back. Hogger won't be up anywhere nearly in time, so they send actually back Tyrael and Chromie. Match ready. Take another camp. Put more pressure in that top lane, and they can recontest on this with a man advantage.
Yeah, and what's Xanthite going to do about this? PRX is going to have to give up this point and then re-engage quickly, or else this objective timer is going to tick up, and that's the end of the game. They cannot stop a Triglav. Overtime is triggered. Maiev is trying to make something happen on point, but Teal is not dying. Tyrael goes down. The sleep is there for match ready. Iron pops the ultimate save, but it is not enough. 2 kills there for match ready, and Idiom's in trouble. 3rd kill is going to time trap. There's the 3rd kill, and this game is over.
To defend it. Core was down to 6% before Hogger even came back, so even if somehow Phoenix Rising Xanthite won that fight, they were going to lose the war with the macro pressure from match ready. They showed us that they were very ready for this map, and they secured the 3-2 victory for Division A.
Congratulations to match ready Division A champions on the back of what I would call the most dominant game of the series.
That was a macro masterclass from match ready. I'm very impressed with them.
Yeah, that was 8 times practiced and 8 times played, 100 times practiced versus Phoenix Rising Xanthite's Volskaya. That was I don't want to call it perfection because I cannot say, but from a viewing and observing space, that was perfection. They played every advantage incredibly well, and every disadvantage, they played it well. They found kills shorthanded all the time. That was an incredible, incredible game by Match Ready, and God, they deserve to be your Division A champions.
100% win rate Lucio in 5 games. 100% win rate Cassia in 4 games. They're good heroes.
Sure. So, yeah, that was a really, really good series. All right, we've got Grace in the lobby 2 ahead of us, along with, all of Match Ready. So,
the expected number of people, to be fair.
Yeah, headphone users, just beware. I will audio balance as soon as possible. But, yeah, let's go in and join them.
I'm not even kidding. Hello.
Hello, Match Ready, and congratulations on representing the West with your 3-2 victory.
Yes, sir.
Good, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great, great series from both teams, but especially well played to you people on Match Ready. I mean, that last game, we'll get to it, but I cannot sing enough praises about how that last game was played. But we'll get to that shortly. So, first off, any opening comments you've got anything to mention overall about that? Anything you just have to say?
If anybody's got anything, feel free to shout it out.
Yeah,
I
we
thought
just-
their
oh, go ahead,
team. I'm sorry. I thought that team plays really good, and like their team fight was pretty good as well.
Yeah, just to follow that up, I think they won like the majority of the team fights in all the games. I think we just played slower and focused on macro and actually once like we got whooped on Cursed with their double healer combo, and then even at the end game they like whooped us whenever we just hard committed. So we kind of needed to just not fight ever. Is how we just looked at trying to win that, and it worked out for us.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's just speaking to how good they were at the team fights. Well played by them.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely did. That was, I mean, so I guess it's a good time to get into it. When we played you the first time in this season, we were like, they play Orphea, Varian, Maiev, Blow Up. And then we stopped it, and we ended up winning 2-0 over that. And I feel like, I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, look at us. But that felt like a turning point on your season, because after that, we watched all of you. I don't know what your practice was or whatever, but it was whatever you did turned up to 11, and you really started beating teams that were at the top of the division. You became a very diverse team in terms of your strategies, and it wasn't just blow-up comps on Uther Medivh bans. It became this multifaceted threat that you were able to put together, and I just want to say that is a really, really good arc that you have put together to make all that happen. So I'm really happy for y'all.
Yeah, well, at the beginning of the season, I think we played you like week 3.
That sounds right enough.
Maybe week 4, week 3 or week 4. This was we had some new pieces on the roster, so we're still developing synergy there. And then you guys pulled that fast one and used our own comp against us. So I'll definitely give you a nod to that. But you are right; it did prepare us for the rest of the season. We're like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't cool.
Yeah, and I mean, we felt it second time around. We took a game, and then you were able to absolutely smoke us throughout the rest of the series as the strats diversified. So again, really well done. So game number 1 here, going a quick way through these because it's already been 3 hours, and yeah, we're all a little tired here. Dragonshire, we're familiar with you on that map, but you took pretty much the same comp games 1, 3, and 5 at the Lucio, Muradin, Kase, and you won with them all. So knocking it out, I guess knocking all of it out, how do you feel about those heroes? What do you, how good are they? Are they just kind of busted, super comfort? How does it go?
Well, I think everyone who won tonight had the Lucio, right?
Correct.
So I think
First
Lucio
pick,
was kind of the
100% win rate.
MVP of the MVP
Lucio,
of the series,
Kathia, and
Lucio.
Muradin all had 100% win rate.
Yeah. And in terms of how we played D-Shire, that's definitely a map that we've definitely started to enjoy. I think Mini Miners gave us a good showing on that map, which really forced us to focus on it. In terms of their comp there, Cole, do you have anything to comment on their comp there?
Sure. I think that in the first games, adjusting 1 to the Joe ban, that's one of our. I feel like Joe's one of our strongest tanks. So to adjust to that, we had to play a little differently, because she's a great hero for setup. But ultimately, I think that the Lucio offers so much utility. We were able to also right there. I think the Muradin was. I don't think that necessarily. I think it was the Lucio, to be honest. I don't think it was the Muradin. And the Cassia, I mean, Sugar's a beast on Cassia. Like, I was so impressed by seeing like how far he's come with that hero, where like he was landing some pretty great Valkyries by himself and setting up kills like multiple games. So I was like, pretty blown away. So I do think that there is some merit there to Cassia, and definitely on Lucio for sure.
Yeah.
Believe us, we noticed.
You can just go watch the end of game 1 and 3 called Sugar Bear, and you will be able to see the unending Valkyrie, like, how on earth. Because you landed so many unset up Valkyries that it was actually disgusting.
Yeah, he was on his game grand final mindset. Like everyone was smurfing their minds out.
Yeah.
Hold
And
up.
honestly, some of them weren't set up, but they kind of are, because like a lot of the heroes on the other team self-root for cast, and so I just look for that. Like that's even if you don't have a setup for CC, if you see like a Dukov E or a white main use her W when she goes like ah ha 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 ha, you can just look for the self-rooting abilities, and then you try and do the just have it catch them on the tip, and that way like they don't have a lot of time to react, especially if they're on ping. It'll hit the majority of the time.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. So, yeah, I mean, there were a lot of really good Valkyries through that series. Game 2 was Cursed Hollow. They pulled out the Lucio Uther composition with double healer, in quotes, double bruiser with Acacia DPS, and they ended up taking that game. I guess any comments? What could have gone differently? What'd you feel about it? They just play it really well, and that was it.
Sugar, you want to take this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think exactly what I had said earlier. Wait, this is the Cursed Hollows game too, right?
Yeah, Cursed Hollows game 2.
Second game.
Yeah, like we needed to just not fight them ever, and then it got to a point where I think we got really impatient. Like, I mean, we knew they were coming at the boss fight, but instead of just sitting still and guaranteeing we get a good engage, we got impatient and tried to give them the flank, and I mean, we kind of pushed our buttons poorly, but also they dodged our buttons well, and I think the majority of the time the double support's going to win those fights late game. So we needed to just dodge, and they did a really good job executing, making sure we couldn't kill. Like the Uther got him out of the cocoon just right before the Cassia died, and big ult by him, and huge turn on the fight, which is kind of like the name of the game with the double support late game. If you don't execute really really well, they're gonna just win the fight, and they delivered.
Yeah, the
Really well played by both.
The
those
Bulwark of
supports
Light, the Group D Shield, came in when about 3 heroes were on 20% health. I know you had DOTs to kill. God, I want to say it was like Sonya or somebody up front, but they didn't have Sonya. It must have been like Malthael or something. Regardless, you had DOTs to kill, and the Bulwark of Light, by the time it expired, you had 3 people dead, and I was just like, wow, that was a fight-turning ultimate there, and really game-turning ultimate. So yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, but both those supports, Lucio also had a couple of fight-turning ults. Like they both
really
played
good,
really really
yeah.
well.
yeah,
Shout out to
Just
them.
with the sound barrier, it was clutch.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, both of Lucio's ultimates are insane, but determining which insane ultimate to take, not necessarily the easiest thing to do, but Sound Barrier definitely came through well for them, especially with the Bossa Nova at 20 to reduce the cooldown of it. So,
If I'm not mistaken, Match Ready, you were 3 for 3 on taking High Five, and Phoenix Rise and Xanthite were 2 for 2 taking the beat drop. Just an interesting disparity between stylistic choices there.
I thought they
But
took High
both
5
won.
game 4 on Garden. I'm not sure, though.
I don't remember explicitly, but I feel like it was 2 beat drop games by them.
Yeah,
It
it's
was-
just more
okay,
like
cool.
the other team has so much CC, so we needed the high five to escape. Like Sonya Leap, Mayev pool, all that.
Yeah, they definitely
Yeah,
had it. They were able to end on that Garden game because they had the Tyrael shields, and they had when they were pushing like bottom keep there to get to our core. So I definitely remember that going down. Like
Yeah.
the beat
Yeah,
drops.
yeah. Yep. So, true enough. So game 3, it's on Alterac Pass. You get the Lucio Muradin Cassia core again, and then you stick on a Lunara and a Malthael. So I know, Grace, you play a ton of Malthael. It's a good map. You did a fantastic job grabbing those camps. I mean, with seconds of precision as soon as they would come up, and it ended up leading to a very nice advantage for y'all in the mid lane, and just having control of that as you're able to rotate into objectives and other things faster. When someone like Joshua and Scott would go and split off to the camp. So yeah, it was solid there. Any comments on that? Because it was basically the same core of heroes, but against a different comp, like the Leeming Tychus Stukov.
I don't have any comments there. Do you have anything to add there, Paper? Do you have any thoughts on Alterac Pass?
I think we timed it really well the camps and even the top boss. I think it was we had some really good fights there,
I think
and
I was gonna say I
yeah,
think Lunara offers like, you know, it gives me a chance to like solo lane on a especially like on a big 3-lane map. So I think that flexing into that and you know having an invulnerable you know self cleanse against like a noob and Sonya Leap, like it was just a better call than like my usual mages. And plus Orfeo was banned. They did take Li Ming, and those are my two, you know, comfort picks. And I felt like that was the best way to go to be able to live through those engages for like I don't know. I think it was the best choice.
Sounds good to me. Game 4, Garden of Terror. You had to pick the map. So, Garden of Terror, similar to the other maps, it is one of the big maps, but I think the most interesting pick you got there was the white main against the similar Tyrael Maiev Diva comp. I don't know how much white main you will play. I haven't seen a whole lot of it on the match history, just flying through it as fast as possible. So, is that a specific pick against, what specifically was that white main for?
no, it was an option because Anding was banned. I had to practice more Wyman these days because we were lacking a hero who could cleanse. And that's
Okay.
it. That's not much to say. It was an
Fair
option.
enough. Fair enough. Well, they did a pretty fantastic job of really winning fights with the Tyrael Sanctification along with the Maiev Cage and the Chromie combos there. So then on game 5, they take that same core, the Chromie, Tyrael, Maiev, and then just flex the offlane and the healer. What were the adjustments you made to that composition? I think you mentioned not fighting as much, but...
we first picked the Lucio.
We also
Congrats
banned
on
Lucio
the
was
Diva
first picked in
there.
5 games, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think banning the Diva there gave us a chance to not have to get zoned, especially with Cage, because it was really dirty on Garden of Terror, the way they used that on the last fight to win. Because, I mean, the Chromie did, of course, like do work, but ultimately I think what really, like, beat us there was the fact that Cage and Diva Bomb were executed, you know, in sync, and it just ruined us. But getting rid of it kind of gave us a chance to, you know, on a bit wide open map. Garden is very like there's a lot of say it's a tighter map in where you take fights in corridors, and since Volskaya is a little bit more open, I felt like Diva isn't really as big of a problem. But ultimately, I think that was an adjustment that I felt, you know, was able to give us more objectives and perhaps a little bit of a problem that we had in the game before.
Yeah. Fair enough. I like hearing that thought process through that. And then I just have to compliment the incredibly good macro play you had on Game 5. When you were ahead, you were able to take structures, you were able to take all the items around the map, things like that. But more importantly, when you were behind, you put so much pressure into the top lane and just pressure around the map, found things that you really wouldn't normally find down 4v5, for example, and ended up forcing a ton of mistakes from Phoenix Rising Xanthite, turned those into kills, and then won things with that. That was really, really, really good play there. That felt like the match ready ascended kind of game. That was really well played.
Yeah, it was game 5. We knew everything had come down to that last game, so we had everything we had left. You had to leave it out on the battleground, you know?
Yeah,
I think-
that was real good.
Are you talking about especially that rotation onto Maiev on the top lane when I think they had gotten a pick on our tank?
That was one
the
that I had in
objective.
mind, but you constantly threaten the top lane or just some other lane. You would draw out fights, for example, poking bottom keep wall, and then
Right.
someone has to clear top and mid eventually, and then you push in for a wall, and then you push in for a quarter of the keep damage, and you constantly kept them under pressure and unable to find a good way to make a fight happen.
There were times, like in the late game, on the 4th objective, you lost a hero, and you rotated up and took your opponent's siege camp because you had so much pressure on the map that they had to respond to. You just generally did a really good job of, with your macro advantage, identifying that your opponents have to split out. So if you just hammer down as 5s somewhere, you're in an advantageous fight. Even if you can't take like the bottom keep, you get 30% of the damage on it and back out when your opponents are able to respond. And you just did an incredible job using your advantages, even if that wasn't always a number of hero advantages. You took things away from your opponent, even when you're down in numbers. It was very impressive.
I do want to give a nod to Lazy Hydra, though. He played a pretty mean tail on that. Like, those Sanks were pretty on point, especially on that 3rd objective. Like, it messed us up pretty hard there. So I do want to give him a little tip of the hat there.
You also had another really cool play when you won the first Triglav. You went straight to the bottom lane because you had already had your Sonya split out. So Sonya was able to get the top well without the Triglav, and you were able to get the bottom well with the Triglav. So you set up the 2nd and 3rd objectives just by identifying that you already had a macro advantage in top lane and instead going between bottom and mid lane. It was a really smart call, and it worked out very well.
And Castia damn near took mid during that too. We just applied pressure all over the map, so they didn't know how to respond to it.
Yeah,
they did commit a lot of resources on the Triglav between like mid and bot, and they just kept like rotating wherever it went. So we took advantage elsewhere for sure.
And then with the first robot, we were looking to set up for the 3rd objective, but it works out at the end. We were able to push top as well.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was really like the whole time I was just scared of fighting them. So it's just like, let's just play really slow, split them up, not let them do the wombo combo because they were executing well in the team fights.
In regard to what you said about us going to take their camp on the top after we had one death, usually I feel like our team, we would like to fight even if we lost one, we would like commit. And seeing us grow now to like eject from that situation and seeing just by default our 4-man just rotating to that camp and taking it, I don't even think it was something that was necessarily called out right away. We just literally all started rotating there. It was kind of a sign to me how much we've grown as a team and how much we all think alike now in our playstyle.
Yeah, it was a good call because they had someone on objective, and they're forced to put someone top lane as well. So it was a free camp for us.
Right.
Yeah. Well, all right. That is the end of questions for me. Ectar, you got anything?
Nope, I got everything I wanted.
Cool. All right.
5-game series and questions answered.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Well, I'll turn the floor over to y'all for some shout-outs, and then we will wrap this up.
Before I get into shout-outs, I do want to let everyone know watching that Match Ready is expanding. So if you are watching and you're ranked D4 and up, I've posted a recruitment post. Now that we've won the division, I'll post another one just for visibility. And if you're D4 and up and you think we look interesting, give me a DM. We can talk from there. As far as shout-outs, big shout-out to my team. This has been a really great season. It's our 2nd season in NGS, so it feels really good to win it all. But even if we hadn't won, just the development and the camaraderie that we've built over the season just feels great. Big shout-out to our coaching staff. They're very clutch, very quintessential. And as much a part, our success here is as much ours as it is theirs. If anyone else has got some shout outs, feel free to shout them out.
You want to go first, Cold? Or?
To all my friends who I gave a link to, NGS's Twitch, thank you for tuning in because I didn't hassle anyone to watch any of my matches throughout this whole season, but for this one I really wanted everyone to see what I had been up to, during the pandemic. So thank you if you tuned in. I appreciate you.
Yeah, on top of for me, shout outs to Shikondor or Boyd, my cousin. Thanks for watching. Shout outs to James, my coworker, for watching. They've both played a ton with me, and I've learned a lot playing with them, and appreciate them showing up. And just thanks to everyone that's here.
Yeah. I'd like to give a shout out to all the teams, especially West Coast. Is actually help us develop as a team. Like we were bottom, like I didn't bottom 2 the first few weeks, but we were grinding, and then shout out to those teams and Phoenix Cinex too. And I'd like to give a shout out to Grace for recruiting Cold Paper and I is our first NGS tournament. And we went from like Div C and then didn't make it to playoff in Div B, but we somehow won Div A. So congrats to everyone.
For sure. All right. Well, again, congrats. Again, go enjoy your big victory. And hope to see you. Well, judging by the recruitment post, we will see you around next season.
Definitely, we're not going anywhere.
All right, sounds good.
Except possibly to Nexus Division.
Uh-oh.
Hey, we scrimmed a lot of the Nexus Division teams, so the teams that we scrimmed, we're coming for you, big boys.
Uh-oh. That's what I like to hear. All right, congratulations, and we'll catch up with you later.
Alrighty.
Thanks for the casting.
Thank you for the
problems.
cast, boys.
Thanks
a lot. It was a
thanks
pleasure.
for a very fun series. All right.
Alrighty.
Ectar, that's not a casting lobby. That's a coin toss lobby.
I mean, no one's tossing coins at 9:20 at night.
That is true. All right, everybody. It is late. That was a 3-hour and 20-minute set and interview, so we will go ahead and get us out of here.
I did post it in chat already, but I do want to shout out the Division A in-houses, especially now with the season wrapping up. If you are a Div B to lower Nexus Division tier player, so high Platinum to low Masters, go ahead and join the Discord. We do in-houses on Wednesdays and Saturdays most often. They've got the Discord link in the chat. And we just do shuffle teams, put random people in places, and just friendly games. It's been a really good learning experience and a lot of fun. So if you think that sounds good to you, go ahead and join in on the Discord and come on by.
Yep, it's a real blast to take part of. So again, yeah, thank you everybody for stopping by. This has been a really fun Division A season. Hope all the other divisions have as exciting games as that. And we will see you in NGS Season 12. Can't believe we're here. Take care. Bye.
Rest in peace, Braxis holdout.